a lot of updates. First of all, hello, welcome to the stream. We are gonna try and have this one be a little more relaxed, because it's kind of in the evening. We're trying to pick a time where more people could join. Hello, welcome for say hello to the moderators, because they're gonna keep y'all in check. There's so many of you! Hi! What's up? So, oh, we have a lot to talk about. Oh my goodness, it's been a crazy time. So, hi, welcome. Music's loud? Oh shoot. Hold on. Sorry gamers. It's because I actually, like, fixed a lot with my stuff. Is that better? Hopefully that's better. I have no way of hearing it back. Hello. Can you hear me now? Hopefully you can hear me now. Sorry. I was jamming, like, really hard. Yeah, I can't help it. Sometimes I can't tell if the music's really loud or not. Oops. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so, first off, my brother was supposed to be joining us. However, he is feeling, like, very sick. It's really, really bad. So he can't make it for now. He said he might try to pop in later if he ends up feeling a little bit better, but we're not gonna, like, push him, obviously. But yeah, basically, we were just gonna go over everything about year 4 together, but I'll just go over year 4 with you guys. Because year 4 was, like, a heck of a lot of fun, and I'm very excited. In case you don't know what I'm talking about Persona Project, which is my main project at the moment, which is basically me telling my life story through shorts. Oh goodness. Oh, I saw a donation. I'll catch up with the donations in a moment. I'm just gonna debrief you guys on things. So yes, Hurricane Milton did go through Florida, and I don't live there anymore, but my brother does, and his job has been completely compromised. The building was destroyed. The reason why he's actually sick right now is because, he, for some reason, ate food from there, and it was not good, and it's not good. So, yeah, his store is destroyed that he works at, and so he has, basically they won't give him hazard pay and all this stuff, so that's why I'm offering up, if you guys donate, I would really appreciate it, because I'm gonna give all of the donations to him today, and I'm gonna try and help him out a little bit, get through this crisis. I'll be donating my own amount, but we have a little goal of his, and we're gonna try and collect some support for my poor brother, who is really having a hard time with this hurricane, and is not feeling well. So I appreciate that. That's all I'm gonna say about that for now. So yeah, let's hop right in. I've got a lot to talk about with this year, and I hope you guys are excited and eager to go over the things that I'm also eager to go over, because oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about with Persona Project. Oh, let's see, let me get everything all set up here. I saw a lovely super chat. I'm gonna replay that so you can see the cute little... There we go.
$2 Tom devilish face.
$2. That's awesome. Thank you so much from LOL bit. That's so... The little devil face actually came through on the Texas speech, which was awesome. Oh, yo!
You're amazing, keep going, have fun in everything you do. Floral Diamond.
Oh, how sweet. Man, my audio is, like, super messed up today. Hold on, let me take a moment to try and fix that. That's, like, cuckoo bananas right now. Hey, music. Can you relax? Okay, let's turn that up then. Okay, sorry, things are a little wonky. I was doing a ton of recording. Oh, thank you, Coffee Gremlin, for the super chat. That's super awesome! the super chats, for some reason, I still can't get them to go through to the stream goal. I really don't understand why, but all of that will be going to my brother, so thank you so much for helping him, because, oh boy, the hurricane was really scary, honestly. I see some questions in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. My brother's name is not actually Rocky, no, his name is Evan. He's one of the only people who I will say his real name because, he's appears a lot on my channel.
Hope your brother recovers well.
Oh, thank you, Pippi! Oh, Pippi, that's so sweet! Oh, we got oranges! I got oranges going in! Oh, I'm so excited I picked oranges for the stream because it reminds me of this year of Persona for some reason. Oh my goodness! You guys are bombarding me, thank you guys!
PetPyves, I just want to say you're an awesome artist.
Aww.
Your newest project is incredible. How are you able to animate all this so well and so fast?
Oh my god! Thank you! Holy crap, Bliss. I have loved answering and like going back and forth on your comments. Like, you and I are like bestie vibes. Like, honestly, it's so sweet. I always love seeing your support. It's so awesome. Thank you so much, Bliss. It's so freaking sweet of you. I animate this really quickly because it's my job now, by the way, gamers. This is my full-time job. I just quit my day job. My last day is on Friday this week, and after that, we'll be doing this full-time. So, yeah, one animation a day is nothing for me. I can get that done in 5 to 6 hours, max. Like, it usually doesn't take me that long. I've always been known to be a very fast animator. So, yeah, upload a day is no problem for me. Of course, if it's like something like really dramatic, I will probably take more time to process it because that last episode of year 4 took me out for like 5 days. It was rough. Very rough. Very, very rough. I'll get into it. Oh goodness. But thank you guys so much for helping out with Evan. I really appreciate it. I really wish it would show up in this thing, but it won't show up on the goal. It's like super annoying. I was like messing with it forever and ever and always, and it's just like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, super awesome. But yeah, anyways, back to, a Persona project. Gonna be yapping about that. Thank you guys for subscribing. We get to, bananas in the little fruit bowl, and it's really fun. It's all 3 subscribers already. There's no way I'm gonna be able to keep up, but I'm gonna do my best to say welcome. I see this a lot. I get this question like every time, fam. Is Evan gonna be in my future eras? Yes, of course. Evan is a huge part of my life. Obviously, as you can see, year 4 kind of started off with a very emotional episode about the day my brother was born. I can't really explain or describe just how much my brother means to me. Like, he's like my best friend. He's my little brother. I raised him. It's like I'm his parent. I'm his big sibling. I'm his best friend. Like, most important person to me ever. I was actually getting quite concerned because, like, a ton of people were like, oh my gosh, do you not talk to your brother anymore? And I was like, are you crazy? Dude, he's all over my channel. We have like a Pokemon Nuzlocke we're doing, which we haven't continued because we're terrified, honestly. Like, it's just a lot of stress, but maybe one day we'll continue. But we do a lot of stuff together. Like, my brother is always a part of everything that I do, so just, you look at my channel, you'll find him pretty much everywhere. I probably won't be doing too much Wild Child impressions during the stream. My voice is kind of shot. I've been recording a lot this past week for Persona, and let me just say, doing that child's voice for several hours on end will butcher my voice. So today, it's feeling a little off. So I'm probably not gonna do any of that this time. Save my vocal cords. Because I still actually have more episodes to record, Jesus. But, oh, why did my brother get the name Rocky? Oh, I love this. Rocky. The usernames that we had as kids are kind of our inspiration for our era's names. So my old username when I was a kid, I won't like say any of them or his, but basically our usernames had something to do with our names, pretty much in every era. So like my brother had like a Webkinz account, and the closest like real life name I could think of would be Rocky. So we were like, cool, we'll base it off the username, so you're gonna be Rocky, and then I'm gonna be, like, Wild Child, because of a username I had. So every era is kind of gonna be named after that, which is kind of awesome. I've actually drawn up some designs I can share with you guys for future, Evans in the Persona project. Let me see if I've got them sitting around here. I think I started up some Blackbird concepts. Not sure though. Oh, I don't have them exported. Poop. Poopy. Unless I do? No, I don't. I definitely don't. Well, all I can say is this: I don't have the art ready for y'all, unfortunately. I'm also like in the middle of making designs, so I don't really like sharing stuff when it's like in beta mode, I guess. But my brother in Blackbird's era is going to be a Blue Jay, so my brother is known as Blue Jay in Blackbird's era. In Parker's era, this is an interesting one. My brother's name is going to be Aura. So Aura is going to be Parker's brother. And then in Holly's era, Holly, Holly's era, my brother is going to be known as Elliot. We based Holly and Elliot off of our personas at the time, which is really cool. I know you guys made so much fan art. I gotta like, okay, I'm definitely gonna be trying to stream like once a week now that I'm gonna be doing YouTube full time, and I'm totally gonna do fan art streams, and it'll be really fun. And I'm gonna try and get like a legit like way to collect fan art that's like a little bit better, so that way I make sure nobody's art is missing, because it's kind of like all over the place right now. Like I get them in my email, I get them in my website, I get them like just on YouTube with ads, and just, yeah, lots of everywhere, so I need to get them all in one place so I could do like a really cool stream. But yeah, about this episode, I'd like to break down all the episodes frame by frame for you guys on stream so I can talk about some important stuff that I either snuck in there or things that I just want to touch base on. Because I only get 1 minute per short, and my god, does that minute go by so fast sometimes. And I just don't have time to say everything I want to say. So, goodness, this was like such a big, deep, emotional one. And the thing that you guys caught on to right away was the fact that Wild Child doesn't mask around Rocky. And I was so happy you guys picked up on that. Because you're absolutely right. I don't mask around my brother. And I've always been so safe around my brother that I've never felt like I've had to mask. And that's like a super consistent thing with this project, is that... Oh, what in the world? Hold on, I just looked over and saw the username is just like flying into another box over there. That's like driving me insane a little bit. Hold on, let's... You get in your little box. You hear me? You guys and your long usernames. Look at what you did. It says /J, by the way. /J. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. I fixed it. But yeah, I never really masked around my brother. Like, I never had to. He's kind of the only person who, like, gets me. And it's really cool. But yeah, this was, like, such a big moment for me, because it was, like... I don't know, like, I was so freaking lonely prior to my brother being born. Obviously, as you can tell, like, a lot of the episodes are about me being pretty isolated. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what to say other than, like, he just, like, gave my life so much meaning. But it also gave me, like, this feeling of dread of, like, I kind of knew that this was gonna be my responsibility. Oh, goodness. I see Finley! Hi, Finley! I see you in the chat! Heart emoji! But yeah, I was filled with a lot of dread because I kind of knew that this kid wasn't going to be taken care of either. I was like, well, I was pretty hyper aware that I was in a pretty bad situation, and I was like, well, I can't let this innocent kid also, you know, go down the path that I'm going down. So I just had this innate nature to, like, take care of him. And I have, like, my entire life. Like, there is, like, year 1, year 2, year 3 of what I remember life before my brother, and then it's just, like, all of it after that is just, like, my life was just over. And I don't mean that in, like, a bad way. I don't mean that, like, oh, my life was over and everything sucks. I mean it, like, it's just how it was. Like, my loneliness was over. My solitude was over. It was, like, now I had a buddy. And now I had somebody to take care of. Which was a lot. But I'm really grateful for it. This is, like, a true little thing. I did make t-shirts with the birther, as I call her, because I don't like to call her my mother, because she doesn't necessarily deserve that title, so I don't give it to her. Because, yeah. But the birther and I made t-shirts celebrating the arrival of my brother, and how... Oh, yo!
I can't stay. I'm studying for midterm exams with my classmates. I'm not ready at all. I got 5 assignments due this week. Wish me luck.
Oh my god, Fizzy Dizzy! Please study, please get ready for those midterms. I can't believe it's time for midterms already. Wow, this year is going by, like, insanely fast. That's crazy. But good luck, Fizzy. Thank you for popping in, for your support. I really appreciate it. I'm sure Evan will appreciate it. Wait, why is everybody talking about me being aro-ace? This is like a known fact. I'm aro-ace. I've always been ace, and I've been on the brink of aro, but I wasn't entirely sure, but I did find out pretty recently that I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm aro, and I don't know. I tried a bunch of labels, and I found out what works, and now I think I'm at a spot where I'm good. Like, I think I've got it. Except for my gender. We don't talk about gender. I'm genderqueer. I don't know what I am. I don't know what I want. All I know is that I am not content with gender. However, my orientation I'm pretty content with, being aro-ace. It's really random and funny. You guys are like, oh, I don't know, aro-ace. I'm like, what is this coming up right now? Sometimes I look away from the chat and I miss all the context, so I'm sorry if I just seem like I'm like, what is going on? Because I'll be rambling. But yes, I was very excited about becoming a big sister, and I didn't really know what it meant. Like, seriously, I didn't know. I was just like, yeah! Awesome! We're doing stuff! I didn't really know, like, nobody really explained much of anything to me as a kid, so... All I just knew was, like, when I held that kid, I was like, oh, man. I was just like, I love him. So, I just immediately was like, I'm gonna take care of you. And I did, because I was so aware that, like, my parents were, like, too busy. Or, not really busy, but neglectful, but, like, one was busy, one was neglectful. And I still managed to teach my brother to walk. That is something I did, actually. I don't even know if he knows that. So, hopefully if he's listening, I can help him recall some important details here. But yes, I did teach him to walk. I taught him to do basically everything. Like, I mean, like, when I say I raised him, I mean, like, it's a surreal experience of raising yourself and raising a whole other person at the same time. It is a lot. But I loved it. And I would always do this. Oh, I had to include a frame of this. I would always do this. I would put Evan on my shoulders. Always. Piggyback rides, like, everywhere. Like, I mean, yeah, I taught the kid to walk, but honestly, I barely let him walk anywhere because I was so busy just carrying him around. Like, he was just so fun to carry around when he was little. But now he's, like, taller than me, so can't do that anymore. Which is kind of a bummer. But I had to include it. It's just so adorable. Everything about this episode is so adorable. I was like, oh my god! I get so emotional looking at this frame. Oh, and then here's a little thing some people noticed. This is a frame of Wild Child teaching Rocky about the candles and the birds and the fish from the previous episodes about playing with everything that isn't toys. So here's a Wild Child lecture about the candles. And then this is us outside enjoying nature. We had this really cool orange tree in my grandparents' yard. And this is just such a cute picture. Look at them. Oh, I love them. This is a frame I shared with you guys earlier, and like the internet went like absolutely cuckoo bananas for it. It's just so stinking cute. But no, this is like super true. My birther would always get super mad at me for like kind of helicoptering around my brother. But I was just so, like, fascinated and interested, and I just loved him, and I wanted to be, like, there, always. So, I can't really, like, blame myself as a kid for being, like, really fixated on my brother.
I think it's funny your two shows have more diversity than most major studios' entire catalog of media.
Oh my god, no, preach, Bliss, preach, no. Y'all haven't even seen anything yet. Brightside Masks RPG has the most representation I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, down to the cast. The cast is really diverse. Like, the cast of players, and like, the characters, and just, oh my god, everything about Brightside blows me away when it comes to, like, the amount of diversity we have. Like, yes, 12 and Origins has diversity, but, like, y'all don't even understand what Brightside has. It's, like, awesome. And, like, it's only the beginning. Wander is, like, I joked about it, but then I stopped and I was like, wait, I'm not joking. This show is entirely queer. I don't think there are, like, straight people in it at all. Like, this is just, everyone is queer. Everyone. Every single person is queer. And I'm like, wow, we need this. So, like, I don't know. That's my favorite part of making content, is, like, I get to make things that,
I want to say I love how Wild Child's been unmasking throughout year 4.
Yeah!
Especially when spending time with baby Rocky.
Aww.
It makes my evil little gremlin heart happy. Congrats on another year, Holly. I'm proud of you. Have some fries.
Aww.
Okay, back to work, bye.
Oh, thank you, Fizzy. Oh my goodness.
Yo, Holly Illy. I also gotta work on midterms, but I'm gonna stick around and watch this stream for a bit.
Yeah!
The $10 donation for Evan because he's a goat. A few years ago I complained to him about my exams and his response was, "You just drop out, lol."
Oh my god. I was just joking about that. My brother is totally the person that if you're like, oh my god, my foot hurts, he goes, oh, cut it off. Or, oh, I hate my job, just quit. Oh my god, school is so hard, just drop out. Like, he's so extreme like that. That's really funny. But thank you so much, Hoodler. Thank you, and thank you, Fizzy, too. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate it. That'll help a ton. Because, oh my goodness. Yeah, he really needs the support right now. I really appreciate it, guys. But yes, no, I love how you guys have noticed that she just progressively has been unmasking, and it's like, it makes me so happy. I'm like stimming even thinking about it. Makes me so happy. Also in the chat, please stop doxing yourself. What is going on? I look away for 2 seconds. Stop it, goblins. And I don't mean goblins in a cute, like, wild child way. I mean goblins in a, gosh, my moderators are gonna bonk you if you're not careful. We're just trying to protect you. Jeez. Anyways, back to being called a mother hen. I love this little key. I love hugging wild child. It makes me feel so happy, because, like, I don't know, like, there's something very cathartic about hugging your inner child, but also, like, hugging my inner child when I know how unloved she was. Like, everybody on the internet can agree, like, we love this frog child. We love her so much. She is our world. We would die for her. I love Wild Child. Everybody can agree. We love her. Except for the people who raised her. And it just sucks. Like, I want to hug her and give her so much love. Because it's just like, I know she doesn't ever get it. And it's like, well, you're getting it now. I know it's late, but like, we're here and we see you and we love you. But it is a rough thing to know that, like, all the people who are in her era did not do that for her. And it's like super bummer, but better late than never. I loved this little shot because, oh yes, I would sit there at my brother's crib and watch him sleep and make sure he was okay. I would actually be quite anxious to make sure he was breathing okay. Like, I was that parental of him. Like, I was so protective of him. I had to make sure he was okay. I would, like, middle of the night get up and check on him a lot just to make sure he was okay. So, I can't describe what possessed me, what took over me when it comes to just caring for him. I just think I'm an old soul. And I think that something took over. Oh, goodness. But that was my sweet beginning to year 4. And I know everybody loved it, and I'm very happy because it was just the only way I could think to introduce him was through, like, a very sweet little episode. So, moving on to the next episode, which is Golden Puppy. I will say, small content warning, there is implications of physical abuse here. There isn't any shown on screen. There's just implications that physical abuse is taking place, just so you're aware. In fact, hold on, where is it? I have a little content warning. There it is. Bum bum! Awesome. So, this was like a very classic tale. I would tell my brother about this a lot. Obviously, my brother was very young. He was just born. So, he doesn't remember any of this stuff. So, the fun part about making these episodes was the fact that, like, I wasn't just making them for myself. I was also making them for my brother, so he could get, like, a, idea of, like, what his life was like when he was a baby. Like, because, like, our parents sure didn't tell him. So it was, like, totally my job to be like, hey, like, this is what's going on. Like, this is what happened when you were a baby. Every time I hear that sound, I think of Wild Child hopping up. I'm like, yippee! I see it coming. There it goes.
Have some fries.
Tyler! Thank you, Tyler! Thank you. They'll be going to Evan's fund, but, like, I really appreciate the sentiment of I'll buy my own fries this week. Thank you, Tyler. I love the pauses, though. You got them down really well with the text-to-speech, actually. That was awesome. Oh, goodness. But yeah, Wild Child felt particularly guilty about this memory of losing this stuffed animal, which I know a lot of people were really upset, being like, oh my god, Wild Child, it's not your fault, it's your parents' fault. And I'll be like, yeah, you know, it was my parents' job to take care of my brother and to look after his things and all that good stuff. But the problem was I felt like I had a responsibility. And so for the longest time, my parents, if they did do something wrong, they would push the blame off on me. They super would. Like, they would just look at me like a child, and they would be like, you know what? You lost the stuffed animal. It's not my fault. Like, you saw it fall on the floor and you didn't say anything, so now it's your fault. Because the blame and shame is a huge deal in my life. You'll see, like, a ton of times where it's just like, I was raised by a narcissist, and they don't take accountability for anything. They don't see themselves as the person in the wrong. They see everybody else as wrong. So the narcissist was like, oh, everything's your fault. So I became the scapegoat. I was the one in the family who was responsible for a lot of the problems. So, yeah, she would grab me, like I drew here. She just kind of, she hated, okay, this is like really stupid. She hated when I would hold on to the sides of carts or the stroller or something. Like, if I used my hand to hold on to something, I don't know why, but she would, like, get physical with me. Like, she would get really mad. So I made sure to put that in there because Wild Child was like, that happened a lot. I'm like, yeah. So basically when I'm doing stuff and I'm doing visuals, it's mostly, like, me looking inwards, looking at Wild Child and going, okay, what details do you want to put in this? Like, what do you want? What's gonna make you feel better, you know? And it's usually like oh, I remember, and like most of the time it's stuff that doesn't even matter, where it's like, oh, we have to draw the checkered floor in the kitchen, I have to talk about the checkered floor in the kitchen. I'm like, okay, alright, we'll do that. I don't know why we need to do that, but we're doing that. So, I wanted to make it clear that, like, hey, Wild Child's pointing out the fact that this thing fell. I just like this little existential me on the floor. I just think it's really funny. But this was like a little, the golden puppy stuffed animal, was just lost on the floor. And I love, ooh, man, did I love drawing this. I love drawing this, like, really, like, sassy, like, angry Wild Child. This is like a Blackbird moment before you even knew it was Blackbird, okay? These kind of thoughts where Wild Child is like, I should have ran away and grabbed it and ignored my mom yelling at me. That's a very Blackbird thought right there. However, Wild Child was conditioned to not do that. Wild Child was conditioned to listen, or else you'd get hurt. And, like, I wanted to make it clear that, like, you know, Wild Child, the reason why she does a lot of things from this point on is because she's started to learn how her world works. Also, I don't know why, I just really want to point this out. This little crying Rocky animation is so stinking cute. I just thought it turned out really cute. It's like 3 frames, but God, it's adorable. The other thing I want to point out in this shot is the genuine concern that the mother has. The birther, she has, like, genuine concern for this. Because this is kind of, like, the point of this project. There's, like, nuance, okay? This person would hurt me, but would also care. At the same time, it was such a confusing feeling, and I really want to make sure that comes across as, like, how come the mom seems so nice sometimes and evil in other ones? And I'm like, tell me about it. I wish I knew. I'm just as confused as you are. Like, and, like, you can see the processing, like, of going on, of, like, she's realizing she messed up. And then is now gonna push the blame onto me. And my initial reaction is to put my hands out like, no. Because that's, like, a very real response.
What is your favorite hair design?
Ooh, good question, Bliss. Ooh, favorite era design. Oh. Oh, gosh. Favorite design. Just design-wise? I mean, dang, that's a hard question. It's probably Wild Child. or Robin. Because, like, I love Wild Child because I get to animate the little cheeks and her little tail. I get to animate her little tail wagging sometimes, and I love her hair. And just overall color palette is, like, really fun and unique. But I also love Robin, because Robin's got, like, gender, like, I've never even felt in my life. I love Robin's design. It's just, like, the colors and, like, the aesthetic, and I love their eye style. It's different from all the others, and I don't know, I love them. They're cool. Those are my favorite ones, probably. But yes, we had a very sad little, like, kind of flinching reaction, because that's what happens when you get physical abuse at you. But yeah, I had a pretty sad moment as a kid, feeling responsible for losing this toy. Because my brother then kind of grew up with, you know, looking at pictures on the walls of him with this golden puppy. And hearing stories about how much he loved this golden puppy, but he didn't get to keep it. And it was just like it was kind of a grieving kind of loss I had, where I was like, oh, I really wish, because I have my Elmo to this day. Like, I still have my Elmo. I have pretty much all of my very important stuffed animals, but I lost his very first one. And it was like a sad feeling to know that he only got to love that stuffed animal through a couple pictures and a couple stories. So to me, it was like a very, very, very big deal, because as a kid, that's a big deal. Losing a stuffed animal is like a huge deal as a kid. So you have to like think about it from Wild Child's perspective, that like how much of a big deal is this? Because sometimes I get comments of people being like, oh my god, shut up, you're being so dramatic. Which, by the way, what a way to react to somebody's trauma playing out in 4K on screen. Like, how rude are you? Second of all, this is a child. Of course they're gonna be upset about a stuffed animal. What do you mean? How torn and ruined is the Elmo? Elmo's alright. Elmo just doesn't have a nose. I chewed it off. And the black parts of the eyes, the pupils are gone, so Elmo honestly looks really terrifying. I'm hoping to give him a little touch-up, maybe someday. But yeah, this is, I wanted this nice detail at the end of me looking at this and being like, no, Wild Child, no, this is not your fault. This is her fault. And that's why the picture gets all scratched out. And I comfort her, because it's like, I'm as an adult, I have realized who's really at blame, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Wild Child still felt that way. And Wild Child still believes it's her fault. I know it's not now, but in the past, that's not how it was. So I had to make sure I comforted all of them too. I comforted even little Rocky on this too, because I didn't want my baby brother to feel that way. It's a lot of deep emotions here. That I honestly really enjoyed getting out. Felt very cathartic, very good to release. But yeah, I will take this little content warning away, because now we're gonna go into some more funny, silly episodes here. So let's do that. Let's go into some silly, goofy times, shall we? The little lamp episode. I ended up renaming this episode to Nightlight. I originally called it Lamp. I don't know why. Like, honestly, Nightlight hits so much harder than Lamp. I don't know why I called it Lamp. That was like kind of lame. So, if I call it Lamp, that's what I'm talking about here. I love Wild Child's blanket. I just have to say this is very true to my childhood blanket. I had a quilt that was very colorful. I had a colorful little quilt that was like my little childhood blankie, and I loved very much, and I love drawing it. It's worth it to me to draw over and over again, because it's such a fun one. Speaking of Elmo, there he is, I love him, drawing him, he's so goofy. Oh boy.
Howdy.
Taylor! Oh my gosh, hi! I hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness, thank you for the oranges. Peeves got most of them. I really appreciate that. Let's go! It's nice to see you, dude. How do I feel about the indie shows right now? Oh, don't ask me that. You don't want to get me on my amazing digital circus rant. I am so hyperfixated on amazing digital circus. I literally every night this week that I haven't had a PTSD nightmare, I've had an amazing digital circus dream, and it's been so good, and I love it, and I'm not normal. I'm not normal about this show. I can't. I will not shut up if you get me started on this show, so I'm gonna do the smart thing. And I'm going to just say, okay, I love this show. I love this show. And in the very beginning, I was like, man, Kinger's my favorite character. He's so autistic coded. He has autism, I swear to God. Pointing my finger at him, being like, I relate too hard to him. He's too silly. He's got something. Any character with amnesia is immediately one of my favorites. That's all I have to say. I love a good mystery. And I was like, oh, yo, the next episode's about my favorite character! Ah! And I just got so hyped! And I can't. I'm obsessed right now. I watch it every freaking day.
When I saw it's for Evan's Hurricane
Oh my god!
I knew what I had to do. Here you go, buddy. The $3 earlier is for your fries. No, just kidding. Please use it for whatever you need on top of this
Oh my god, Tyler, thank you so much! Holy cow! Oh my god, I really appreciate that. That's so sweet of you. Holy cow. Oh, Evan's so appreciative. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much. Holy cow. You have no idea. That'll help tremendously. Oh goodness, but yes, okay, anyways, I'm not delving in too far into digital circus, because I will not stop. Also, Finley, that's really funny that I have been in your dreams. That's so random. Anyways, back to my lamp catching on fire. This story was just, okay, this is really funny. I thought this story was really funny. And I was like, oh my god, the internet's gonna think this is so funny. It's one of those moments where you're like, if I had a nickel for every time my lamp caught on fire, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but isn't it funny that it happened twice? Which I thought it was just like a silly, goofy time. But I had people in the comment section being like, oh my god, I'm so sorry this happened to you. Are you okay? Your parents shouldn't have let you play with such dangerous equipment. I'm like, guys, relax. It's not traumatic. Not every episode of Persona is traumatic. Like, the point of Persona Project isn't to just trauma dump and have the internet give me sympathy. Like, no, absolutely not. This is like to share how complex trauma can be. It is like, I have good times. I have really good times. But I have really bad times, and I have a weird balance of both, and sometimes the really good stuff ends up feeling bad because of how bad everything else is. It's like, I can't describe it. It's complex trauma. I highly recommend looking into it. There are so many ways to grieve. There's so many ways to go through loss, to go through trauma, and there's no right or wrong way, and there's no simple way to describe things, other than I just want the world to know that I did have a good life. There's just points of it where it wasn't good. And I feel like everybody knows that. Everybody goes through bad things. Everybody goes through good things, but for me it was just a little extreme. And sometimes the happy things make me sad now. Oh, but yes, it did actually catch on fire. I wasn't lying. Like, most of everything that's in here is not, like, dramatized or, like, just over-dramatic. Like, I'm serious. That caught on fire. It was just straight up on fire. So, yeah. Luckily my dad's, electrician and knows how to deal with stuff like this, and I loved doing this like very panicked frame of him grabbing this fire hydrant and like the little poofs I had this disco ball and it also caught on fire. I had this disco ball that was like so much freaking fun, guys. Ugh. I think more or less with like most of these things, it was like a small fire enough where it was like creating smoke and it could have grown into a big fire really quickly, and like we caught it super fast. I don't know what caused it. I think the like wire was like faulty or something. I have no freaking idea. This is like, I don't know. This is I was a child, who knows. Disco ball, rip my disco ball. I miss her so much. The lamp actually did look like this. It was like this little like happy little sleeping moon and star, and I named the moon Luna and the star Venus. And so it was Venus and Luna, and I would like talk to them before I went to sleep. I'd be like, okay guys, like, I want to make sure that I'm not gonna have nightmares, so I'm gonna leave you on all night, and you're gonna keep the bad guys away, and like, I'd like talk to them, so like, they were my friends, and so when it like, melted, it was like, so mortifying to me, and I was like, oh my god, like, but luckily, yes, we did have a second one, because once you have a sibling, you start to get things in twos, you start to get duplicates of things, because, you know, siblings all have to have the same things. So that way nobody fights. But like me and my brother never fought, but like adults in our life were just like, oh, like we don't want the kids to fight over this, so we're gonna get each of them one. I know they still sell the disco balls. I have other lights now. Actually right now, because it's Halloween, I have candy corn lights all around my desk. It's really cute. Oh goodness, but yes, I had a second version of this that I stole from my brother who was an infant and didn't even know he had it, so technically this is fine. And also ended up also catching on fire anyways, so honestly, we might have saved my brother from having to live through this. I just had to end up living through it twice. Which is so dumb. It's so dumb that it happened twice. It's just so funny, and I just knew it was gonna be a really funny, like, internet storytime animation. I was like, man, if there was ever a time for me to do a, like, silly, goofy story time, it's about this. This is dumb. But that was that silly episode. Oh, this one's one of my favorites. Oh, I loved this one. And I'm always gonna turn off the subtitles so you can see most of the details. Sometimes the subtitles cover up details, I get upset about it. I'm like, man, I worked hard on that. First of all, Wildchild's riding a freaking Razor scooter. Because, hell yeah, I had a Razor scooter, gamers. I was a scooter kid. Oh, yeah. For everybody asking this question, I am getting beaten over the head with it a little bit, and I'm kind of tired of answering it. Yes, everyone else will change with the eras. My parents will change. My sibling will change. My friends. Everything. Everyone will change. Everything will change, dude. They also go through eras as well. Like, example, Blackbird is not gonna have frog parents. Blackbird's gonna have parents who are also birds. My brother is also gonna be a bird. Everybody in that universe is going to turn into birds all of a sudden. And then when we go into Parker's era, we're all going to be metahumans who can shoot fire from our hands. Awesome. And then when we go into Holly's era, we'll all be cats and dogs. Awesome. And then Hailey's era, we're all gonna be dinosaurs. And then Robin's era, we're all gonna be, like, kinda, like, mixes of, like, random animals and people. So, yes, there you go. Hopefully that answers that question so I can hopefully stop having to answer it so many times. I don't know why people are assuming that Blackbird's gonna have frog parents. Like, that's I stare at that image and I'm like, why? Why would I do that? Why? Why? So there's that. Everybody's gonna change right alongside me. Anyways, back to me being a scooter kid. We had this awesome, well, you know, I grew up in Florida, so, like, we didn't have very many, like, hills, we didn't have much elevation and stuff, so, like, in Florida, there was this one freaking hill we had in our neighborhood, and it made for the best freaking scootering spot, because you'd, like, go all the way down and be like, meow! And so, that was what I've tried to draw there, is Wild Child going down the cool, like, one singular hill we had in Florida. And this is my pond. Oh, I could talk for hours about this pond. I love this pond. That tree raised me. In Hailey's era, you're gonna see this tree so much. This tree changed my life. And like, it's just like, seems like an offhanded background image. But like, I can assure you, this is extreme foreshadowing. This shot will mean so much to you by the time we get to Hailey's era. Like, just seeing this, if you watch, like, if we get all the way to Hailey's era, and you go back and watch this episode, you will be like, oh my god. Like, that tree means so much to me. Also, for those of you who don't know what love bugs are, I've had to explain this a couple times to my friends and other people who watch this who are like, what is a love bug? They are these Florida native little bugs that are these little black bugs that have little orange heads. And they're called love bugs because they reproduce like insanely fast. And they're everywhere. There's like seasons of them. They arrive in seasons and then like swarm. It's crazy. They also like kind of attach to each other when they become partners. So they go from being two single bugs into like a double bug. It's kind of cool. It's kind of crazy. So I really love the love bugs. I love catching them. Also, don't quote me on that. I don't know if love bugs exist anywhere else. I just know that they're not. I don't know if they're just a Floridian thing. I just know that they're not up north. They could just be a south thing. I'm not entirely sure about that. But I used to love catching them because, oh yeah, I used to feed them to my reptiles because they were so easy to catch. Like, I just love feeding them to my reptiles. Also, I love this animation. Nobody ever talked about this, but the freaking boink of the eyebrow on my lizard. Boink, boink. I loved it. I loved it, and I loved animating the freaking bug jumping back, like, scared, and, like, crying. I love this stupid animation, dude. I love them. I want a whole show of just these guys. Like, I want to animate little critters, dude. I love animating little critters. Oh, also, if you're a Wander fan, I snuck a little familiar toad in the background. So there's that. I also put Wild Child's favorite snake in there, which was a ring snake. Oh, my sandhill cranes. I used to love the sandhill cranes. I actually got very excited. I heard one up north recently. I was like, oh, they exist up here? I thought sandhill cranes were a Florida thing, but apparently they're not. They're actually more widespread than I originally thought, which is very exciting. Oh my god, I see a Brightside fan in the chat. Let's go. I love Toy Chica. Let's go. Anybody who loves Brightside, you have my whole heart. You have my whole soul. Oh my god. If you guys watch Brightside, ugh, it's literally my favorite project I've ever done. I mean, Persona's climbing up there now, but nothing will quite ever beat Brightside, I'm just saying. Love my RPG, dude. Love my tabletop games. But yes, loved getting a little clip of what they sounded like, because I just really needed to drive in the point. My father did tell me my entire life that they were actually pterodactyls. Like, he would be like, anytime he'd hear them, he'd look at me with like a shocked expression, like, and he'd go, pterodactyls! Like, and act all like, oh my god! And then like Wild Child would be like, oh no! And like, we'd be like, oh my god, it's pterodactyls! And, like, and we'd be all scared and like pretend like that they were coming for us or something. I don't know. Like, we'd like goof off about it. And so I had to do this cute little like she's pretending to be a dinosaur and she's like flapping her wings animation. And like, I just loved doing this little like animation of the bird flying over. I love my transitions. I never get to do them that much, but like, man, I love them. And I try to use them more in the nature-based episodes for whatever reason. I don't really know why. Also, guys, please stop asking me to do the Wild Child voice. I explained at the start of stream, my voice is really shot. I've been recording all week for Persona projects, so my voice is really, really tired. So I can't do the voice during the stream right now because it will wreck me. Wild Child's absolutely gonna be in the next season. Yes, we got a lot more to go with her. We have like 4 more seasons of her. Maybe even 5. I'm writing year 9 right now, and I'm trying to decide whether it's more Blackbird or more Wild Child because it's a weird overlap. So we'll see. We'll see. We might get 1 extra year out of Wild Child if it seems like I need to tell it from Wild Child's perspective. But anyways, I used to make leaf boats. I don't know if you've ever made one before. It's literally a boat made out of a big leaf, a stick, a small leaf on that stick, and then I would put little acorn caps like in there just to, like, as my passengers. So that's a really cute little animation of the leaf boat. And then yes, I did get to see baby ducklings in a little cute little like tree stump when I was growing up, and it was like literally one of my favorite memories. They were so freaking ugly. I loved them. They were so ugly. I can't explain to you how ugly, like, baby ducklings are when they first hatch, but god, they're hideous. But, like, Wild Child loved it. Because, you know, that kid was hyper-fixated on birth for some reason. So, this was, like, a huge deal to her. She was like, oh my god, these little ducklings are being born! Like, she was, like, giddy, like, just so excited. And then, of course, my dad didn't let me keep them, but I thought it was really funny, because I really wanted to make sure that she... Oh, goodness, big yawn. Sorry, it's getting dark so early now. Oh my god, like, it's making me so tired. I had to make sure that we got the annoyed expression. Even though, like, she's unmasking a little bit, I just thought it was really funny. I was like, I just really want this angry little Wild Child. Oh, and I love this shot. I put so much detail into it for, like, literally no reason. Like, I don't know what possesses me sometimes when I'm doing these shots. But, like, I put, like, the swaying plants. It's also a perfect loop, by the way. I don't know why I always make sure there's, like, a perfect loop sometimes. But there's, like, the little firefly... Not fireflies, I guess. They're, like, wisps. I don't know what they actually... I don't really know what I meant for them to be. Maybe little bugs? Like, fluttering little bugs? I don't know. Little wisps. Because there was this awesome canal we had by my house that basically had a little wooden bridge where you can cross over to the other side. And I used to just stick my feet in the canal and catch turtles and frogs, and I would, like, get worms from there to feed my reptiles sometimes. And, like, I'm gonna touch more base on the canal later. It'll become a pretty big plot point for a couple characters, but I really wanted to make sure that I showed Wild Child also enjoying it, because the pond was such a fun place. I've already decided that for my birthday this year, I'm gonna fly down to Florida and I'm actually gonna go revisit this pond. Like, that is how much I love this pond. Like, I can't describe to you how much this means to me. Like, I am gonna cry like a baby when I go there, and I'm gonna be hugging that tree and thanking her for raising me. I'm gonna do a lot of soul healing stuff. I'm gonna go to Florida and just revisit my pond. I miss it so much. Wild Child is a pond frog, so this is a huge episode for her. Also, I do a lot of show don't tell, and a lot of people are picking up on that, which makes me very happy, because that means we have media literacy, and I'm very happy for all of you who have that, and it makes me very joyous when you can read in between the lines. Because yes, this character that I have created, you know, is me. But I also don't want to constantly have to say, because I'm autistic, blah 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 blah. Like, I want to be able to be like, no, Wild Child, you know that me and Wild Child are autistic. So you know that when Wild Child's like, My family calls me a fish out of water, but I'm not a fish. I'm a frog. Duh. It's like, it's just going over our heads. It's just going right over our heads. We don't understand the metaphor. And I had a lot of moments as a child where I didn't understand that it was like a metaphor, and I just really wanted to portray that on screen. That she's just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna set the record straight. Because also, I get a ton of comments being like, are you a goblin? Are you a frog? How come the boy isn't a frog? How did you turn into a human if you were a frog as a kid? I'm like, first of all, these are silly questions. Second of all, she's just a frog. She's a tadpole because she's a kid. And then the sassy little comment of her being like, get it right, people, is actually something she would say a lot. I was pretty sassy as a kid. I would say things like that. I'd be like, ugh, you people. Like, I would say, like, the sassiest things sometimes. So just her being like, get it right, people, is just so wild child to me. And then, like, I had her go and run off and play. Because in my mind, in my heart, in my memories, she's always there. She's always at the pond. She's always playing. She just takes breaks to come and tell us some stories or come and see what I'm up to. But she perpetually lives at this pond, and she's always playing at this pond. This is where she is. This is where she belongs. This is her home. So that is the pond episode, and I'm very happy I got to animate that one to the extent that I got to. I had so many details. I loved it a lot. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones. I can't wait to talk about this one. Oh goodness. Alright, so VHS. Love my VHSs as a kid. They're basically cassettes. They're basically, for those of you who don't know what they are, in case it's not like common knowledge, because I understand, like, this is like a whole other generation now. VHSs were what we had before DVDs, and they were basically these tapes. They were like cassette tapes in a way. They were tapes that you would have movies on. And most of the time they had commercials in the beginning, actually, which was kind of interesting. So, instead of it being like commercials on TV, you would have commercials in the front of your VHSs, which is kind of funny. But the thing about them is that you had to rewind them because they would run all the way through and then they would be done, and you'd have to rewind them in order to watch the movie again. So this episode was about my extreme fear of the VHS rewinding noise because it was so loud to me and so terrifying. So this was like a very like silly one, but I had to explain the beginning of this because some people were like, what is going on? I just gotta explain. This green skeleton was a reoccurring nightmare of mine as a child. I would have a dream of this glow-in-the-dark green skeleton in a red hat who would chase me. He would either like chase me or he would stand ominously in a space and I'd be like, oh no, it's the skeleton! I'd be like running for my life. I hated this guy. I hated him. I don't know where he came from. He's just like some character. I don't know. Just something that like haunted my mindscape when I was trying to sleep. So he's just a silly little like skeleton. And I got to do the voice for it. I was really excited. It was really funny. I just love drawing Wild Child being like, oh god, it's a bad dream. Oh, I got some layers turned on here. There we go. But yes, I was lucky enough as a kid to have a tiny TV in my room. I know not a lot of people did. And I was just, I was really grateful for that, but also not, because it was kind of scary, but I'd climb all over everything. This little animation turned out so good, by the way, of the little VHS. I don't know why I drew it so detailed. But I have to tell you, I hand animated this static the static in the bars and everything on the screens, I hand animated them, for the record. It was very relaxing to do all of the effects. Like, all of that is hand-drawn. I don't know why. I could have just gotten a stock image or something, or like stock footage, but I just... Oh, Pippi, yes. The loud static was horrible. Like, you'd turn it on, it'd be like, and you'd literally be like, ah, like, crying. I hate it. It makes me so feral, dude. But yeah, I did this very dramatic, like, oh no, it has to rewind, and then I have this very dramatic, that background turns black and white, and the TV starts cascading this blue light, and Wild Child cartoonishly away. Which, by the way, that animation is so cute. It's got some really ugly smear frames though, like, what is that? But, god, it turned out really cute. It was just like one of my favorite things I've ever animated for this project so far was the It's so cute with the smoke clouds. Oh my god, dude. Freaking loved it. So adorable, man. And then she's just hiding with through Elmo. And then I'm crying. I just thought the end of this was really funny when it's like finally done rewinding. And we're just like hugging each other like... like, is it over? Is it done? I just loved the episode so much, dude. It was so short, but dang, it was so fun to animate. Oh, I hid so much stuff in this episode coming up. We have kites coming up. Okay, I hid a lot. I can't wait to show you. Oh, man. Oh, let me grab some water. I'm like not even shutting up for like 5 seconds. Oh, Sage, don't worry. The other eras will all get their chance, and I'm gonna have some fun episodes where the eras get to interact with each other and hang out and stuff. It'll be really cool. So, we're just taking our time. How many personas are there? There's Wild Child, Blackbird, Parker, Holly, Hailey, and Robin. There's 6. There's 6 so far. But we also have some other characters that'll be showing up. Don't know if I brought this up before, but we have physical manifestations of my various things that go on with me. Like, example, I have a persona for my OCD. I have a persona for my complex PTSD. And I have a persona for my avoidant personality disorder. And I have a persona that embodies my anxiety and my depression. So we have some, like, kind of like villains, I will call them, that will make an appearance in year 5. Actually, you're gonna see a couple of them start to manifest. Like, everybody, I have to say, everybody is very, very, very concerned about year 5. And, like, all the comments I've gotten on the compilation for year 4 have been people being like, oh no. Oh god, year 5 is gonna be bad, isn't it? I have a bad feeling about year 5. Year 5 is gonna, when things are gonna go down. And I'm laughing because I've totally conditioned you guys to think that. Like, I'm like, hey, life is an exchange. Episode 1, I say it, life is an exchange. And you guys are like, okay, we get the memo. Everything's been really good so far. We're scared, we're scared. And I can say with confidence, it's not that bad. We start kindergarten in year 5, okay? Wild Child starts kindergarten, and society is not kind to her. So it's like it's more of a very kind of soft sadness that will be in it, but it's mostly pretty cheery, honestly. We're still in a very good place as of right now. There is, like, oh my god, I can't even begin to tell you. The last episode of year 5 is gonna reveal something that I am deeply, deeply traumatized over. I don't necessarily understand. I don't know how I'm gonna make the content warning enough for what I have to, like, talk about. I'm just hoping people, like, listen to the warning. I'm gonna, like, put it in bold red, I'm gonna leave it on screen longer, I'm gonna make sure that, like, this doesn't hurt anybody else, because it is that harmful, like, just to even talk about. Like, I worry about talking about it, especially because I have younger audience members. But something does happen to me at the end of year 5 that is catastrophic, horrific beyond, I don't really know how I'm going to say it. I already recorded it and I bawled my eyes out. Like, I had a full-blown panic attack meltdown. Like, I'm not gonna include it, but like, I just, it was bad. Just trust me, I'm gonna do my best to make sure I put the right warnings and everybody knows that the last episode is gonna be really intense. And I probably won't mention that thing much after that. Like, I'm gonna just talk about it and say this is something that happened to me, but I don't want to talk about it further than that. Just know that it happened, because it's not something that you really want to talk about on the internet very much. It's not a good thing. So, year 5 won't be that bad. I promise. There is some really fun stuff so far. I've animated 2 episodes of it so far. And I've really enjoyed the art of it so far. Most of them are silly, honestly. Most of them are still silly. Like, Wild Child is raising Rocky, and she's being her goofy little authentic self. Like, she's just learning that in kindergarten that authentic self is gonna get her in a little bit of trouble. So she's having a little bit of a hard time dealing with people telling her to calm down. But yeah, everything will be okay. I'm still breathing, you know, I'm still here. We're fine. Wild Child will be okay. The thing that happened to me, honestly, Wild Child doesn't even know it happened. So if it brings you any solace, it brings me a lot of comfort to know that she didn't understand what was happening when the bad thing happened to me. It was as an adult that I realized the bad thing was happening to me. So it's me that's in the agony, and the child is okay, and I would much rather have it that way. I want Wild Child to be okay, and not have to know what was happening, so there's that. There's the heads up. I thought I'd give you a little update here, because I know most people were, like, deeply concerned about year 5, and, like, don't worry, it's freaking fine. I wouldn't be posting crap that is, like, that bad. Like, I'm definitely, you know, when it comes to, like, my family murder stuff, I'm like, okay, yes, I will be very transparent about this, but there are some things that have happened to me that I don't feel is appropriate to go into great detail about. Also, I have to animate it. Also, please don't guess what it is in the chat. Please don't do that. That is not appropriate either. So yeah, so basically, if it's not comfortable for me to watch on screen, I'm not gonna make you watch it either. So, the reason why I'm being vague about this is because I'm trying not to upset anybody. Please don't talk about it in the chat, thank you. In fact, that does that. We're gonna go talk about this episode of Kites, because I'm very excited about it. It was actually a very recent revelation I had. My little I Spy book. Some people were, like, getting mad in the comments. They're like, I thought you never saw your grandparents. I'm like, yes, I never saw my grandparents. This is, like, the only memory I have with them is going... We flew kites, like, once or twice. Like, it was, like, on a couple occasions. It wasn't just once. Like, we did it at least 2 times. So it was like, oh, Windy Day reminds me of being with my Mimi and Pop-Pop. And, like, I had this revelation while I was writing this episode. Because I had to write the line of my Pop-Up being like, watch out, boob kid. And I was like, hey, yo. What the hell is a boob kid? Hey, yo, what does boob kid mean? Like, seriously, what is that? What is boob kid? And I googled it, and I started dying of laughter. I was like, that is so funny, dude. He was actually calling me dumb. That's so funny. And I didn't find that out until, like, a couple weeks ago. So, like, Oh my goodness, like, oh man, it makes me giddy. The fact that, like, something from my childhood I completely went over my head, I never questioned it, I never thought about it that hard, and then as an adult I'm like, also, why is there 2 Bill Cyphers in my chat? Bill Cypher, please leave me alone, I have enough trauma to deal with, I don't need you on top of it, thanks. Like, either of you, I should say, what the freak. Anyways. But yeah, I love the Wild Tail's tail wagging, so cute, love that animation. I love doing the kites too, they went boink. And I love the little reference of her jumping up and being like, that's a fender bender! Cause, like, I just wanted to emphasize that she does that a lot. Oh, I can't wait to show you guys this. Okay. We gotta look at my very silly search results that I made them look as close to real ones as possible. So here we have the famous search engine Goggle. Because for some reason, my gimmick on my channel is that we uncopyright things for no reason. We just uncopyright things. It's really funny. So I made Goggle, and it's like, okay, yes, this is the actual definition. And then I have from a reliable website TM, www.thisisawebsite.website. Yes, very reliable. And then I have a different little definition of what boob kid meant, which was just like from another reliable website, TM, from thisisawebsite.website. There's also pronounced boob kid on ViewTube. You know, the place where I'm streaming to right now. ViewTube. And I said, sadness would be a real result too. Because there would be a result for the pronunciation of boob kid on ViewTube. And then, unrelated, but please buy something from a sponsored random thing. Because there's always a random ad that has nothing to do with goddamn anything that shows up. So that was my very silly, goofy little phone recap for you guys to see it. I also love this little, like, bonk. She gets all, like, flattened and mad. She, like, croaks. It's such a cute little episode. I just thought it was wholesome. Moving on, we have building blocks. We're almost to the end of the year here. Building blocks is getting a lot of attention. I'm very happy about it. Some attention's not great though. I'll get into that. Yeah, this is when Wild Child started kindergarten! Not kindergarten, preschool! Sorry, I got excited about kindergarten because that's what I'm currently drawing. She started preschool in year 4. And yes, it was at a church. I went to a Bible school. Say it with me, kids. Christianity traumatized me. But it's okay if you're a Christian. That's fine. You didn't traumatize me. Just certain people in my life did, and I'm not religious anymore. But that's okay. You are entitled to be whatever you want to be and believe whatever you want to believe. This is a safe place, I just want to say. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, Christian people, get out, brr. Like, no, like, please stay. Like, you are welcome. I was raised Christian. You all are good. I just don't want anybody to get their I'm trying to think of I only know this phrase as, like, I don't want anybody to get upset. I was gonna say, get their panties in a twist, and I was like, no, that doesn't sound right. That's the only way I know that phrase, and that's kind of weird. Because I'm from the South, and we say a lot of weird, random Southern phrases, and that was one of them for some reason that I remember. So nobody's gonna get upset. Like, look, I came from a biblical background, a little bit of religious trauma I've got here. So it's okay if you're religious, if you're not religious, whatever, it's fine. We're all good, as long as everybody else is good. let's, be respectful of one another, please. Okay. We're trying to be respectful here, but I'm also teetering on my line. I know I included a frame that really upset some people, which was vegetable indoctrination. Come on, dude, it's funny. It's obviously a joke. I'm joking. It's just funny. It's just funny. I was raised on VeggieTales, and it's just funny that it just happened to be like a Christian show. It's just really funny that it's just religious in the background of like these vegetables. It's a silly concept when you look at it from the, like, if you were an alien who came to Earth and was like watching VeggieTales, you'd be like, ah, vegetable indoctrination. Like, it's just silly. It's not meant to be serious. I had some people who were very, very cross with me, very upset and disappointed that I was like bashing their religion. I'm not trying to bash your religion. I'm joking. I'm sorry if my autism doesn't make it come through that much, or if it didn't seem like a joke. I'm joking. Like, I loved this show. Like, unironically, I loved it. Like, why would I be hating on it? Like, I loved it. So no hate, I'm joking. Okay, just have to get it out there. Yes. Also, you guys seem to really like this tire swing animation. I also really liked it. It's really cute. This whole year had so much, like, tire swing action. I was very excited about that. But yes, this is just a silly story about me building a tower. And then I beat the record and I got a Polaroid taken, which, by the way, I loved this shot of the camera flashing and then it goes, Pew! It's really cool. I actually did get Polaroids as a kid. And it made me very, very happy to get my picture taken, and I was like, hee, I achieved something. Christian vegetables. You see? It sounds crazy, I'm telling you. Anyway, it's just silly. It's all silly. I love this shot of her being absolutely evil. Like, eye glowing, like, she's just like, no one's taking my thing, and she gets all, like, puffed up and she knocks it down. And then, like, getting super annoyed when the other kid runs away crying. She's like, oh my god, what a loser. And I'm like, dude, stop being evil. And then she's like being a little shithead and I had to chase her away. Because I do look back at this and I feel kind of bad. I'm like, man, that poor kid. Man, that poor kid. Oh well, rip. Rip, I had to be number one. You know, gotta do what you gotta do. Everybody seemed to take Wild Child's side, which was very funny. They were just like, yeah, Wild Child, knock over that tower. Screw that guy. I was like, dang, y'all, that's savage. That's savage. It was funny. I just have to show off some of Wild Child's gremlin moments. But yeah, this was the start of her preschool. Oh, this one is getting real popular. I think I just found my people, really. Just a whole lot of people. Actually, hold on. I gotta take a swig of water. I gotta explain something. Okay. This episode that I'm about to talk about is the picky one. It's about picky eating. Okay. I saw a lot of people in the comments of this video self-diagnosing, which I want to say, self-diagnosing is valid as long as you do a lot of research, okay? Self-diagnosing for attention, solely for the purpose of trying to fit into a group, or solely for the purpose of gaining attention, lying about something as deep as a... Oh.
Love your work.
Oh, thank you!
Keep it up.
Hyper Tarantula 42, thank you so much! Oh my god, I got some oranges coming in there, that's awesome! Also, I love your username! Hyper Tarantula is like, I get like such a clear image in my head, that's so cute, oh my god. Well, thank you! But, I just, back to my serious talk here. Yeah, faking a disability is not cool. And it's not acceptable. I will not tolerate it. If you are questioning that you might be neurodivergent, like having autism, or ADHD or anything along those lines, anything that makes you not neurotypical, that is fine. Good. Question those things. It's good to know more about yourself, especially when it could be something that is disabling. It is extremely important that you research these things. Absolutely. A lot of people saw this video and were like, wow, I didn't know that having food separation was an autistic trait. I must be autistic. And I'm like, not necessarily. You can want to separate your food and not be autistic. Okay? I just want to put that out there. You don't have to have autism to separate your food. You can do that without having to be autistic. It just so happens that in my experience, I think that a lot of my food pickiness, the texture, the taste, the separation, the kind of like thoughts I have about food, I very much associate with my autism. I'm like, hey, this is me being autistic, and I also have been a caregiver for 2 years to people who are autistic, and this is a common trait amongst them, I have found. In my personal experience, I have found that a lot of people can relate to this. I just want to make it clear that a lot of people were scaring me on this video because they're like, wow, I must be autistic. And I'm like, are you joking? Or are you like trying to make this demeaning towards me? Or like, I can't tell people, I don't know what people's vibes are about it. I just don't want people to be serious. I don't want people to be like, basically being like, you know, oh, I have autism because this video, like, said I did. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. The reason why at the end of this video I hold up little heart hands and I say the autism experience is because it's my autism experience. Like, I'm not speaking for everybody in this video. And I just want to make that very clear. I advocate for people to self-diagnose, especially after a ton of research. Like, yes, I want you to be comfortable. Find labels that work for you, please. It'll be so much better if you can say, oh my goodness, wow, I'm autistic, that explains A, B, C, D, E, F, G, here's the whole alphabet that explains for me. Now I know how to handle those things. Wow, I'm having a meltdown, let me look up how to handle that. Oh, great, you know, like, let me talk to my therapist about this. Like, it can open up a lot of doors. So, like, I am fine with people doing that thing. You just can't do it for the wrong reason. Like, don't do it for malicious intent, please. That is all I ask. I support everybody who wants to learn more about themselves, please. We only have so much time on this earth. It is good to be curious. It is good to question things. You can try out the label, and if you're like, oh no, I was wrong, actually, I don't think I have this. Okay, then now you know, but you wouldn't have known if you didn't try. So I just want people to know that it's okay if you're looked at this video and went, oh wow, this is making me realize some things. Like, great, maybe I've helped you along in your journey. That's awesome. Like, I would really love to be that person, but like enough at the same time, I don't want to have people doing this for the wrong reason. That's all. I just want to make sure people understand that, because I'm getting a little bit concerned about this video. Because yes, when I was younger, I was diagnosed with Asperger's, but back when I was diagnosed with Asperger's disease. It was called a disease, and I want to tell you right now, it is not a disease. It is not a disease. But back when I was a kid, that's how they treated it, and it was very scary. And I also got diagnosed with Asperger's because I was AFAB, and when you're born female, people back then believed that girls couldn't have autism, that only boys had autism, so girls had Asperger's. It was girl autism. I joke, I call it girl autism, because it's like kind of a demeaning kind of way to kind of separate and dismiss girls who have autistic traits. They don't want, you know, girls to be like, oh, well, it's not severe because they're a girl, like, they'll be fine, like, girls are able. It was kind of not good, obviously. So I don't say that I have Asperger's. It's an outdated term. The term is a really honestly bad word. I don't like it at all. So I say I'm autistic because I am. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat it just because I'm a girl and call it something different. It is autism. And it is not just a gendered experience. It is a universal experience. Like, And there's varying levels. Like, everybody has, it's a spectrum. For those of you who don't know, autism is a spectrum. And so, yeah, like, that's another thing, Lucas, you brought that up. Getting tested is really hard nowadays. It's really expensive, it's really hard. I got tested when I was really young, and I was pretty lucky about that, but I know if I ever wanted to go and get tested for anything else, it's a big process anymore. They're learning about it constantly, and it's constantly growing and changing. It's just, I just want to make sure that I get it out there that, like, hey, like, if you're questioning things, great, like, wonderful. Just please don't just grab at random labels and be like, I'm this person because I want to be like PetPyves, I'm autistic too, yep. Like, no. You don't understand, I have real struggles. I have real, very real disabilities because of my autism, and I don't want people to be faking it. It's very harmful. If you do have these traits, and you are like, wow, this is actually a little disabling, or like, wow, I'm realizing that some things about me are different than other people, like, great, like, wonderful, I'm glad you have realized those things, and like, that's a big step for you. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna stop going philosophical rant mode here. Just know that I support you if you are self-diagnosing, as long as you are doing it correctly. But yes, this is the picky eating episode, with the famous cereal bowl from the Fine China episode. I always slip in, like, before episodes come out, I'll add hints. Like in Building Blocks, you saw a tire swing, which later showed up in Alive. Now in Picky, you see the elephant bowl that shows up in Fine China. So, like, there's little things that I hide that will show up in other episodes. And it's like making it a continuous thing, because my life is continuous. This is my life. So I'm trying to make sure that I put things in there and keep, you know, continuity. So, I love this because it's just a grown woman arguing with a child over Fruit Loops. It's just really funny, dude. Oh, I love it. It's just really funny. Like, genuinely mad about it. I would only eat the green ones. True facts. Even with Apple Jacks, I'd only eat the green ones. I'd only eat the green of, like, anything. If it was green, I'd eat it. I don't know what it was about green, but I just trust it. Like, with my life, apparently. Yes, Bliss, we do need positive rep. Cause, like, trust me, I work in a caregiving facility, and a lot of these people have disabilities, and I would always hear from my coworkers who are autistic. They would be like, oh my gosh, I can't get this person to eat, blah 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 blah, da 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 da, and I'd be like, oh, we'll have, like, example, we made nachos, and I was like, I'm gonna put the chips in one bowl, the salsa in one bowl, the meat in one bowl, and we're gonna have everything separated. And sure enough, they ate, because I'm autistic, and I know how it works. I know, because I'm the same way. And my coworker's just so impressed, being like, oh my gosh, like, I couldn't get them to eat, blah blah blah. I'm like, it's because you dumped all of this stuff all over the chips and they got all soggy. What do you mean you don't know why they wouldn't eat it? And so it's just like, and like, I never bashed them for it. They were just so appreciative. They were like, thank you for putting them in bowls. I'm like, you're welcome, because I know what that's like. And like, there's nothing wrong with it. You just need a little extra attention. You just need somebody who understands you, like I do. And so it's not a bad thing if you're a picky eater. You just you have different needs, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So yes, I am creating positive representation. Because, I don't know, like, I'm tired of seeing also autistic representation being played off as, like, kind of icky. Like, oh, like, the parent is like, I'm an autistic mom, heart emoji, like, my child has autism, heart emoji, like, oh, it's just so hard taking care of a disabled child, and, like, they, like, make it their whole personality, and, like, it's kind of icky how, like, TV shows portray it, and they're just like, they don't know how to socially interact, they are weirdos. And it's just like, I don't know, that's super dumb and gross, and like, I hate it, and it's not realistic, and it's just, people kind of exploit it, and it's disgusting, and it's really not that hard to understand. Like, it's really not that hard to understand. Like, this is exactly why I made this episode, is because I had to get into the person that birthed me, into her face, and tell her, like, you were wrong. Because this person pretended I wasn't autistic my entire life. And, like, I was confused because I was told I was, but I was told that I wasn't allowed to be it. It's like, yeah, we know you're autistic, but you can't be autistic. We can't catch you stimming. We can't catch you being picky. You can't act autistic. We know you are, but stop it. Like, it was like, almost like they were trying to, like, discipline it out of me. It's just, oh god, this episode was really hard for me to work on, honestly. Like, I had a very hard time. I don't know what it was. It was this shot of, like, me being taller than her. Me, like, getting up in her face and yelling at her. There was just something kind of, I felt kind of bad about it. Like, she deserves it, and she needs to hear me, and she needs to listen to me, and she needs to know that, like, me as an adult is calling her out on her bullshit, but enough at the same time, it was just like, I don't know. I felt kind of bad, because she was just kind of ignorant. She chose the wrong path as my parent. She decided to not take care of me. Like, she just chose the wrong path. She didn't do the right thing. And, like, I don't like having sympathy for this person. This is kind of the only person in my life I don't have sympathy for. But it was a hard episode to work on, and I want you guys to know that it was hard for me to express anger. Anger is a very hard emotion for me to express. You'll see it a lot. I got pretty much guilted and shamed a lot around the feeling of being angry. So being angry doesn't feel good to me. And usually if I have an episode that's like very heated or angry, I'm gonna have a very hard time working on it because I get really ashamed of feeling such a strong emotion. This episode was hard to work on. But once I got past that point, it was smooth sailing because I got to animate me like watching Wildchild just kind of like eat her little silly little like peas, and I just got to like sit there and like cheer her on and be like, be your authentic self, I support you, and like squish her little cheeks. It was just so cute and fun to animate, and I was just like being so silly about it. Oh my gosh, okay, I hid a couple things in this shot I would love to show you guys. So I have, like, the off-brand Cheerios called Toastios, and then, like, Cosmic Brownies. I put Cosmic Brownies in there for my brother. Those are for my brother. He loved Cosmic Brownies as a kid, so those are in the cart for him. I also got these steaks in the cart, because there's gonna be an episode about the grill. There's just a couple hidden things there. And then, I don't know if you guys remember this, I'm gonna zoom all the way in on this little thing. Did you guys, if you grew up in the 2000s like me, do you remember these little coupon dispensers? They were like these little coupon dispensers. They're like electronic boxes that would be hanging on shelves, and you'd push a button and it would dispense a paper coupon. And I don't know why, but as a child, I was like obsessed with it. I'm like staring so hard. I was so obsessed with it. Grabbing the paper coupons, and like I would hoard them. I wouldn't even use them. I would just be like, it's a coupon! And like run over and grab one and like hold on to them, and like I just collect them all, and then on the way home I'd be looking through them like I got a pack of trading cards. Like it would be like, ooh, I got one for milk. Ooh, I got one for this ice cream. And it's just like, I was obsessed with these coupons, dude. It was so much fun. Oh, pronoun check, aro-ace, pronoun check. My pronouns are all pronouns. I use they, them, he, him, and she, her. In that order. Those are my preferences. I prefer they, them, he, him. But if you call me she, her, I'm not gonna be mad. It's just, don't really feel much like a she-her right now. Feeling more like they, them, personally. But, yeah. That is, my ramble on coupons. I love them a lot. I miss them terribly. I wish they would bring them back. I know everything's electronic and it's better for the environment, but, like, I do miss grabbing the coupons. And, oh yes, we brought up Zoo Pals. I heard that they're coming back. You guys informed me that they are coming back, and I am very happy about that. I am very pleased to know that other children are going to have this in their childhood, and man, just, I feel so glad that they're back, and they're so adorable. The one that's on this plate is a piggy, by the way. It's a little piggy. It's also Wild Child's favorite meal. It's steak and potatoes and peas. That was her favorite meal. So yeah, that was the picky episode. Went on a little bit of a tangent there, but I really had to. Cause I wasn't expecting that out of everyone. I was like, wow, I did not expect you guys to be like, so, like, oh god, that's me! I'm like, wow, we all had this, that's awesome! Oh, it's a full moon tonight, Crash? That's awesome! That explains why everything's so bright outside my window still. Ah, yes. So here comes episode of Alive. It's just a little bit of a content warning. I'm going to talk about a little bit of existentialism. And if you don't know what that means, we're going to talk about the meaning of existing and the concept of what happens after you die. Because as a child, of course that's what I was thinking about. I thought about normal things as a kid. But I loved the animation of this one, of spinning around. And, like, I loved the whirling animation of, like, the world going by. I really tried to capture it from how I remembered it. I got really close. I also loved this animation of her kind of floating in, like, space. 'Cause, yeah, like, this is the thing. Like, I was raised religious, but, like, I still wasn't entirely sure about it. Like, which is healthy, I feel. It's, like, healthy to have a relationship with religion where you're like, oh, I need to, like, you know, consider all my options, I need to learn a lot, I need to study a lot, I need to, like, gain an understanding, and, like, for me, what happened with my religion was, like, it was so forced on me. They were more concerned about me using the label of, I am a Christian, rather than actually teaching me what it meant to be a Christian. Like, I almost never, like, read the Bible. Like, I couldn't even tell you anything about the Bible to this day. Like, they wanted me so bad to just say, you're a Christian, you're a Christian, you're a Christian, but, like, they never actually taught me what it meant to be a Christian. So, like, as a kid, I was like, I don't know how to get to heaven. I don't know how to go to heaven. I don't know what Jesus even does. Like, as a kid, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen after this. So I got really scared, and, like, rightfully so. Like, I was just really sad. Like, I don't know. As a kid, it was kind of a humbling experience to sit there and be like, man, I sure do exist. That's weird. Guess one day I won't. I feel like every kid goes through that, and everybody in the comments sure did tell me about their experiences. But I would do this. I would become self-aware, and I'd be like, huh, I'm a kid right now. One day I won't be a kid. That's interesting. I guess I will pretend to play on the playground like a kid. And I would be, like, morbidly aware of, like, myself. It was very odd. I'd be sitting there pretending to do stuff and, like, be, like, aware of, like, yep, mom's talking to the teacher, so I better act like I'm having fun. Yep. Like, it's just like, whoa, like, super weird and deep for a child of her age. I love this little animation of her kicking up the dirt. Because, like, I don't know, if you're on a swing, you can't tell me you haven't, like, done the thing where you, like, kick up the mulch underneath and, like, dig a little hole or something with your feet. I do that all the time when I'm on swings. So I just put in the animation. I also made sure to have me say the little, like, is this a Pet Peeves canon event joke? And then I made sure to include a frame of Wild Child kind of being upset. Because this is gonna become a problem later. This is gonna become a big problem later. Like, I go from having a curiosity and a questioning about death to an extreme phobia. So, this is kind of where it's starting. This is where the, everybody's like, yeah, you're calling me out on the mulch, sorry, I had to do it, guys. But yeah, this is kind of the start of Wild Child, like, being afraid of death. Because this is gonna be a kind of a theme. When you're a kid, you start out invincible, and, like, I made it very clear that Wild Child just had no sense of danger, no self-preservation, no sense of I could die at all. Like, she was very much like, I am invincible, I'm immortal. And I feel like every kid kind of goes through that phase and then gets humbled by life, eventually. And you'll see it, like, she definitely kind of has this gripe with it. She battles death a lot. And in Blackbird's era, it is gonna be a huge thing. Big thing. In Blackbird's era. So, this is just kind of some foreshadowing. But yeah, that's all I will say about this episode of Alive. Obviously got deeply existential as a child at random moments, because I think we just gain sentience at some point, and it just happens. So, no more content warning for now. We're gonna talk about one that you guys seem to really enjoy, and I'm very glad, because I loved this one. This one was one of my favorites that I animated, and it is the one about fine china! Fizzy Dizzy, yes. Holly will mention this stuff, because Holly has like a kind of, this is kind of weird to say, Holly actually kind of likes the concept of death. Not in like an emo, like, kind of like bad way, but like a, it's very interesting. Like, and is curious about, like, in a healthy way, in a happy way of the unknown. But yes, it will come up in Holly's era. It will come up in pretty much every era. It's like a phobia of mine, for real, so. But yeah, let's talk about, one of my favorite ones, the Wild Child freaking cafe, the freaking Fine China episode, which, by the way, the little logo was so fun to make. I loved it. I loved making the logo. It was so freaking fun. Oh, I loved it so much. But yes, Wild Child Cafe opened up its doors, and you guys absolutely ate up Wild Child in her little outfit. I love it so much. She's so cute with her little bow tie, dude. And the little vest. Oh god, she kills me. It's so adorable. Oh goodness. Oh, sorry. It just gets dark and I start yawning like a grandma. I'm like such a grandma right now. Okay, anyways. Wild Child, like, holding the towel over her arm and just, like, bringing you guys in to the show where she's gonna tell you guys about her favorite, like, utensils and things from her childhood. Which I loved doing 3D turnarounds of them, by the way. It was so funny. Doing, like, these little, like, 3D little examples of the stuff. So, like, the cereal bowl, my little off-brand Cocoa Puffs little drawing. The Minnie Mouse plate was really funny to do 3D because I was like, wow, the plates really are just flat, like, but you guys seem to really agree with the fact that Wild Child would get a little bit of everything in, like, her spoonful. Because, like, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. You get a little bit of everything. I can't stand it. Some people, like, eat just, like, one thing at a time. They'll be like, I'm gonna eat all the potatoes. And then I'm gonna eat all the peas. Like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? You take a little bit of each time until everything is gone. And you go in an order. It's like, da-da-da-da-da. And, like, that's just the autism coming through for me, I feel. I'm also OCD, so it's hard for me to tell sometimes. The overlap between autism and OCD is very real. but I have to do it like this, and so many people agreed with me, and it healed my soul. It made me very happy. I was like, thank you guys. Thank you guys for validating me and my insanity. And then the spoons! We had these little Looney Tunes spoons. It was very hard to make these not copyrighted. It was very funny, actually. I was like, dang. Bugs Bunny's a big icon. But yeah, I drew this really sweet picture of me and my brother at my grandparents' house having ice cream. I decided... My brother, when he was growing up, had a really hard time holding utensils. He would hold them wrong. Like spoons and forks, and hold pencils wrong. He had like an issue with like his, I don't know, depth perception or something about like his dexterity that was off. So like, Mans would just shove his whole hands into ice cream and eat it. Like, to avoid using the spoon, because the spoon was frustrating to him. But yeah, I had to include like that fact that he didn't use a spoon. Even though the whole episode, like this whole thing was about the spoons, he still couldn't use them because he didn't want to. He never, and then he also was, I had both the spoons in this shot. Because he still is just using his hands. But yeah, I also included in this shot, oh, yo?
Do you reuse assets?
Oh, Bliss, that's a good question. I don't actually reuse them. The only thing I'll reuse is sometimes I'll reuse some of like the sparkles, like the little sparkles that are on screen. I'll reuse them from certain episodes, but most of the time I'll just like animate new stuff because I don't reuse assets because then I can't grow, right? If I were to copy and paste the same Wild Child's like 4 little poses, I wouldn't grow if I didn't draw her so much. Like, you go back and watch year 1 now, dude, the art is already scrunkly. Like, the art looks different and weird because the style hadn't, like, solidified yet. I can't grow if I don't draw. And if I have to draw every single frame new every single time, then the art is only going to improve. So that has always been my philosophy. I don't reuse stuff. I reuse things that are, like, stupid and dumb. Like, little, like, sparkles and things where I'm like, okay, that's tedious to animate. I don't want to do that over and over and over again. It takes up too much time. However, when it comes to animating characters in backgrounds and things, I rarely reuse them because it's really good practice, in my opinion. Like, is it more work? Absolutely, it's more work. But also, I'm growing. So, good question. Like, super good question. I'm very happy you asked. But yes, in this shot, I included Wild Child's carrot cake, but there's a couple of really fun details I want to point out here. Wild Child's favorite cake was carrot cake. I'd always have carrot cake as a kid. But if you notice something about the 2 cake slices on the table, you'll notice Rocky's is right side up, and Wild Child's is upside down. Because Wild Child believed in the philosophy that you should eat your cake upside down. Because the frosting gets everywhere when it's on top. It like melts off the side or like goes everywhere, blah blah blah. However, she believed that if you had the frosting on the bottom, you could kind of dip the cake in the frosting. So like she always flipped her cakes upside down. That is always something I did as a kid, and everybody was always looking at me like, why did you do that? You just ruined it. I'm like, no, I'm dipping my cake in the frosting, duh. And then you could easily scoop the frosting up off the plate. I don't know. I still kind of stand by this. I still kind of want my cake upside down. Not gonna lie to you. Why aren't I reusing assets? Because, like I said, I want to grow. And if I reuse them too much, it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't make every episode its own episode to me. IQ 200,000. Dude, no, Wild Child's on another level, dude. Like, I'm telling you, man. She's really just, she's something else. I love the little details I put in here, and I get to go on live stream and tell you guys, because, like, I do put them in here because I'm like, this is just me. This is just me 100%. This is my life. I love it. Yeah, I love this little cute little like music notes. And you guys were begging, like, I'll be here next week for the next episode. I can't wait for the Sippy Cup episode. I'm like, guys, there's not actually a real one. This is just a little spoof of her pretending that she's running a little game show, like a little show about her cafe. Unfortunately, I don't have any other episodes planned. There wasn't any other, like, super noteworthy items for her to talk about. This was kind of a one-off little silly little, like, display that she was, like, pretending with you guys. Like, she was playing pretend. But yes, I do all the voice acting, Austini. I do all of the voice acting myself, because, it's important that my voice is heard. It is my story. So I want to make sure my voice is literally always heard. No more Botcha Cafe, I'm sorry! Unless I think of something that's like constitutes her coming back to the cafe, I don't see anything else that happens. I mean, if you want like a super demented one, she does... Spoiler warning, she does try to poison Rocky at some point! Which would be a really dark twist on this sweet little cafe, so that's why I didn't think about using it for that. It's, yeah, so let's maybe not bring back the cafe, I guess. I don't know. We'll think about it. There is not another episode. That was just a joke. That was her playing the part of being a host. So yes, I don't have any plans for that. I might bring it back in future eras. Like, instead of it being Wild Child Cafe, it'll be like Blackbird's Cafe. And then Blackbird would be like, I'm gonna tell you guys about my favorite drink combinations. I love mixing together, grape juice and Mountain Dew. It's the best drink ever. And then if you mix Sprite and apple juice, it's also my favorite drink ever. Cause, like, Blackbird was like a drink mixer. Like, she would just make concoctions of random things. So like, maybe I'll bring it back for some other eras, but I probably won't do it for Watch Out. I don't see anything. I know I dropped this, like, thing about freaking Rocky getting poisoned. Don't worry about it. He's fine. He's totally fine. I would have told you more about our childhood stories if my brother had made it to the stream, but he did not. So I'll save them for another time. We'll talk about them together. Like, my brother will totally be streaming with me another time. So we'll catch him another point, and we'll share all of our juicy stories of random things that we did and random things I did to that poor child. But yes, we have one more episode to talk about, and this is gonna be the hardest one for me. Please bear with me. I'm gonna put up the content warning and stuff. Give me 1 second. Gotta set everything up. Okay. Okay, get up there. Stay up there. Alright. I'm gonna turn on my little sad face. I'm gonna be morbidly sad. Before that, which airs after Wild Child, Mel's asked, it's Blackbird, and I don't have voices for the other eras yet. I'm still working on them, practicing them. I don't have any voices for them yet. I haven't found anything that really works for Blackbird yet. I'm still practicing. Okay, let's talk about training wheels. This is the most painful one I had done so far. Like, oh wow, this there we go. The music was like having a stroke for a moment. Oh, goodness gracious. I had a very hard time with this. I just want everybody to know that while I do make an episode like every day, and I do manage to get episodes out very quickly, there are some that I spend days on because oh my god, I can't express to you how painful this is. So yes, we're gonna do a content warning. I'm gonna talk about grief, I'm gonna talk about loss, And I have to say this because I'm very upset about something. When I first posted this video, I had people who were saying that I'm so sorry for your loss. And I really needed to hear that. I really needed to hear that. And I was like, thank you so much, you guys, for the condolences. And thank you so much for the support. However, so many people were confused. So I decided to clarify because, I know, my autistic ass, sometimes things just don't come out right, and I wasn't sure if I said something wrong or portrayed something wrong, and I didn't want people to, like, I thought maybe I was, like, being ingenuine or something. I was like, oh no, like, just to clarify, my dad is alive. He just disowned me. He just isn't a part of my life. He changed for the worse. He really hurt me. He may as well be dead. To me. And for some reason, people just took back their condolences. For some reason, all of a sudden, just because he's breathing, just because he's on this planet right now, for some reason, it's no longer a loss. For some reason, it's just not a loss to some people. Because he's just breathing. And I'm deeply upset by this. I didn't expect the internet to react this way. I mean, I never know how anybody's gonna react. But I sure as hell wasn't expecting people to just be like... I had people adamantly commenting on other people's comments who were like, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Somebody would reply, oh, but the dad's not dead, so... Are you, like, actually serious? I'm still grieving. Like, it was a lot. And then I also had people in that video trying to downplay my trauma, and were saying that theirs was worse, and or that I had it worse and that they should shut up. And, like, it was just people were just doing a lot of victim blaming. People were doing a lot of icky stuff on that video, okay? On a video that was already hard enough for me to post. So, that's the one I am closest to just turning the comments off on. And I've never had to do that. Even on the one about murder, I didn't have to do that. But, like, there is just something very distressing about the way people reacted to this video. And I just want everybody to... I want to explain something, because I did get word from my therapist. I talked to my therapist about this. I was that distressed over this. I want people to understand that grief comes in a lot of forms. There is no time limit. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. Grief isn't just people dying. You can grieve over a lot of things. Grieving is such an important thing to do in order to move on and to move forward. And it doesn't matter how I lost my father. I lost him. Just the fact that he's breathing shouldn't change whether you feel like I deserve sympathy or not, you know? Like, it's just, I don't know. I came out to the internet, said, I lost my hero. My dad is gone forever. All I have left is this memory of him. And everybody just was like, oh, well, sorry, but he's still alive, so you still have it better than most. And I'm like, just in awe. I'm in awe. I am just severely disappointed by the internet. It's just, I knew it was gonna happen. I went viral, of course it's gonna happen, but it was just more disappointing that it had to happen on something that was so sensitive to me. Like, I have PTSD, and the moment I started working on this, I was having a really bad time. I couldn't even be alone at all. Like, I had to have somebody sit in the bathroom with me while I shower, because I will have such bad breakdowns, because I can't be alone for, like, any waking moment. Like, I am extremely distressed over having to bring— I'm, like, sweating right now, actually. I'm physically sweating even talking about this. But, like, it is a lot to bring up, and, like, I haven't slept since I posted this. I haven't slept at all. Like, I can't explain what it did to me, but my whole body aches. I have to take medicine just to just to walk right now because my whole body hurts. I have like a electronic massager. I've been massaging my back and my limbs and trying to get my body to relax because it's releasing a lot of tension. Because, like, I had repressed a lot about this memory, and I can't tell you how physical this is other than just telling you. It's just it's a physical feeling. This grief is very real. And at this point, I'm at a point where don't go and bash these people on this video, obviously. Don't go out there and try to tell people that they're being jerks, blah, blah, blah. Don't add to the fire, okay? It's on fire. Just... don't fight fire with fire, okay? Just leave them alone. Let them be. Because at the end of the day, these are other people who are also traumatized. They are just not as informed. They don't have help. They don't have a support system. They aren't ready to go through what I'm going through. What I'm going through is putting this to rest. What I'm going through is healing. And some people aren't ready to do that. So they'll push the blame instead. And so they'll do other things to cope instead. Because I brought up something extremely triggering. Oh, yo! Thank you, indie person! That's awesome! Thank you for the super chat. That's so cool. It's your first one. You got a cute little, like, animation for it. Isn't that awesome? Oh my god. I really appreciate that. It'll help out with my brother's, hurricane fund. But yes, we're not gonna bash anybody, because listen, there are other people on those videos who are trying to heal too. They're just confused. Sometimes when you go through a lot of heavy trauma, and you go through a lot of things, you don't know how to react, you don't know how to act. Like, you'll see, Blackbird's a really ugly era. Blackbird, I have a feeling that people are not gonna like her, because she deals with things in a very ugly way. She deals with things in a very ugly way. But it's like, if you don't know anything else, it's not your fault. So, like, I don't blame those people for being like, my trauma's worse, or, like, boo-hoo you, like, you know. People who are treating it incorrectly, they don't know any other way. And I feel bad for them. And I don't want to make things worse for them, because it's clearly bad. So, yeah. I just want people to know that I was pretty upset about the reaction I got initially. But I went to therapy and I talked it over, and at the end of the day, my body's reacting. I am getting the release that I need, and I feel at peace. I bawled my eyes out. I bawled my eyes out. Like, every shot of this, I had to take breaks. It was a very, 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 very emotional thing for me to do. And it just caught me so off guard, because I wasn't expecting this one to hit me as hard, but it was really the last shot. It was really the last shot of... I think I had a realization. I'll show you. We go through this whole episode. And it's just my dad teaching me how to ride a bike. Which was just... I was so grateful for. This whole episode is about gratitude. And being grateful that my dad sat through me with this whole process. Holy crappy-oly, universe! Oh my god, thank you so much, universe, Jesus! Oh my god, I really appreciate it. Oh, that's gonna help out Evan so much. Let's go. Oh my god, let's go! Oh my god, thank you so much. For the record, everyone, Universe is my freaking roommate, so like... It's really funny that you did that on stream. W Noodle! Yes, what's W Noodle in the chat? That's funny as hell. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you, Mooney. That's gonna help so much. That'll help so much. Oh, you got grapes! I never see the grapes! Damn! That's a rare moment. Rare grape moment. Oh. Thank you, universe. Holy cow. W Noodle. So funny. Okay, no spamming. Everybody gets a single W Noodle. That'll be plenty of W Noodles. I just crashed in. That's a really, really awesome way to enter a stream. Okay, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to explaining something here. Basically, this whole episode is about how my dad kind of sat through the ups and downs and how much I trusted him, and he taught me to ride my bike, and it was just such a big accomplishment. I want to show you guys the pictures in the background because they got kind of covered up. And I want to show you guys the little family photos and stuff because they're really cute. Like, one of them is of me and my brother, like, I'm like carrying him on my back. One of them is like all of us together. My dad, Rocky, and Wild Child. One of them has Elmo. I have my grandparents in one. Wild Child playing with soccer ball. My dad holding up Rocky. And then me and Rocky playing in the mud. Just wanted to show off those pictures because they were just really happy memories. But yeah, the thing that I realized that this is where it started to mess me up was, like, this is the hardest part about this grief and why it's grief. I don't need to explain why my grief is valid to the internet. My grief is valid because this man is gone. I don't have this person anymore in my life. I don't have any parents. I don't have any grandparents. I don't have cousins or aunts or uncles. I have no one. I just have my brother. Oh.
I hope this helps a bit. I lost my mom a few months ago very suddenly, and I understand what trauma possibly you're going through. My parents divorced when I was at the age of 3, and I have autism too.
Oh my god, Amanda! Holy cow, thank you so much for the help. Oh my god, thank you. I'm so sorry you had to lose your mom. I'm so sorry. I'll sit with you in that. I understand. I really do. I'm glad we at least all have each other to help each other through this. I know it doesn't get better, but I hope it gets easier. Because that's my best advice. But yeah, this is the part that really hurts, is knowing that my father fought extremely hard for me. He really did. Like, his whole... Oh, I'm gonna start crying. I hope you guys are okay if I start crying. If it really upsets people, I won't. But it's really hard to talk about. I'm gonna try not to, but I can't help it. I'm not good at masking anymore. But I could see it. Like, his body was, like, physically destroyed trying to save us kids, and, like, I don't know, like, the detail of, like, his eyes messed me up. Because it was just... His eyes were always very cloudy because he was an alcoholic. And he was always kind of glossed over. And it was just... I don't know how to describe how I feel about it. It's just his whole physical being was just all for us. Like, he was the one that was there. My dad was the only parent I had. Like, he was a great dad. And I lost him. He's gone, like, forever. And there's no way I could get him back. I fought. You will see. I will show you how hard I fought to save this man. And I couldn't. Cause, like, holy shit, I'm just a kid. Like, I can't expect, like, anyone to, like, pull off something like that, let alone, like, a child. But you'll see, and that's another thing I have to keep reminding myself. People who comment things, they also don't know my life like I do. Like, you haven't seen anything yet. Like, you don't know everything. Like, of course you, like, might not understand the context yet. Like, you will. I will show you. But I loved my dad, and, like, this is the part that messes me up. Is holding on to his memory. Physically drawing myself holding on to his memory is really hard because he'll never be that way again. and he's gone. And it was hard to let go, but I did, and I let him go. And that was the hardest episode I had to do so far. Because I had to gripe with the fact that all I have now are memories, and like, while it is a happy thing, it can be a sad thing too. It's like, I'm so grateful. Like, I don't take anything for granted. He gave me the best chance. Like, we had, like, not a good chance, honestly. We were kind of screwed from the get-go, but he gave us the best chance we could have ever had. And, like, I wouldn't be where I am. You guys always comment on my work ethic. You comment on so many of the best qualities I have are because they were his, and now they're mine. And it's like, it's hard to wake up in the morning and know that all I have are memories. Like, I love my memories. I love them, but it's sad. Like, I wish I could have more than memories. Like, I want him to be here so bad. And I'll explain just so you understand. I haven't talked to my dad in 8 years. Oh, I put tissues next to my desk. I'm so smart. I've been crying so much over this episode that I just finally put a tissue box here. Oh, thank God. But yes, I haven't talked to my dad in 8 years. And this is what happened. And this is kind of spoilers for Persona, obviously. I'm gonna stop crying now. I'm sweating. Basically... Oh, thank you so much again, Amanda. You're so sweet.
I'm sending you a big virtual hug. I found my mom. I'm not going into detail. It was the worst thing you can imagine. I know your dad was your biggest cheerleader. My mom was mine.
Oh, honey. I'm gonna hug myself, and you hug yourself when we're hugging, okay? Oh, I'm so sorry. I know. They're still cheering us on. In our memories, right? Like, that's how I always feel. I'm like... If I wanted to, I could draw Wild Child's dad. I could draw my frog dad, and I can have him there whenever I want. Like, that's one thing people can never take away, are those memories. They can't take them away. They'll always be cheering me on. Forever. Like, forever. But, basically, what happened between me and my dad was... Oh, goodness.
My Truth and Reconciliation Calls to Action Professor. It has a long name, I know. It's a class on indigenous content. But she says that tears are medicine for the soul. I think that applies to anyone. Sometimes you need to let your feelings flow.
Oh, Fizzy, that's such a beautiful philosophy. I love indigenous culture. That's amazing. I think my Mimi would be very happy that you have said that to me. Thank you. Why did I just save this project? Oh, whatever. But what happened was, my dad became a really severe alcoholic. And this was a path he went down for several years. Through a course of a lot of bad events. And it just kept getting worse, because things just kept getting worse. And, like, I don't blame him for what he did. That was his coping mechanism. But...
GL with this. It gets hard, but it will be worth it.
Oh, thank you, Ella. It is hard, and it is worth it. It's already worth it. I'm healing so much, and I know it's hard, but I'm glad I'm doing it. And I'm glad I'm able to share, and I'm glad it's helping other people.
I just wanted to say, Holly, I am so glad I've gotten to have joined your community.
Aww.
You actually inspired me to get into writing and voice acting. I really am happy that I got to sorta know you.
Aww.
I wish you and everyone the best. Much love, you all.
Thank you, Crash. Oh my god, you guys are so sweet. I'm gonna cry for a whole other reason. I'm trying not to cry anymore. Oh, okay. No more crying. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ella. That was so sweet. I can't believe it's your first one. That's so sweet. I hope you love my ugly little voice to text thing. It reads them out like a little goblin. But yes, I will explain. Dad was a bad alcoholic. He did a lot of bad things. And I think that's kind of the point of Persona. I'm trying to explain that my mother was never a good person. She never had a chance. She never did good things. She was never good. She did, like, a couple of things I could count on one hand that were good. However, my father was a good person. Like, just a golden, beautiful human being. Like, who I am now is who he was. He poured it all into me. And somewhere along the way, he fell apart. And it's like, it's harder for me to write my dad off like a villain, because he never was a villain. He's just a misguided soul, like... Whereas my mother was always a villain. She's always been sick, and she's always been wrong and bad, and she never had a chance of redemption. My father, however, has a chance of redemption, and that's what makes this story hard and real. My dad... Eventually, I was the only one holding on to us. I was the glue of our family. Like, it's pretty common for the scapegoat to kind of end up this way when things kind of eventually fall apart. But I was holding us all together. I was the one that was making all the calls, I was making all the plans, and I was saying, okay, on Christmas Day, we're all gonna show up at this person's house, I'm gonna bake this, and this person's gonna bring this, and we're gonna have presents and music, and I was doing everything. I was holding everyone together because I just so desperately wanted it to stay together. But like, at some point I just realized I was like, I am one person holding together like 15 people. I can't do this. I'm one person. And so I had to let go. And eventually when I let go of my family, they never reached back out to me. A lot of my family is not even blocked on my phone. They could call me to this day, but they never will. Because I was the only one putting the effort in. And sadly, towards the end, my brother came out and they didn't accept him. And they didn't accept queer people in their lives. They were making allegations against my friends because they were queer. They were hating on my brother. They were coming between the one thing you don't come between, which is me and my fucking brother, okay? And they were... And then I came out and they didn't accept me either. And it was just so much from beyond that point that they just did so many bad things and so much piled up to the point where I was like, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, you're just not the person you used to be. And every time I come over here, I'm in danger, and I can't put myself through that anymore. At one point, I looked back at all my eras, and I went, they're scared of you. And I can't do this anymore. And so I told my dad, the last time I talked to him, I told him, I said, hey, I've been going to therapy, and I'd really like you to come with me. I think it would really help you. And he said that he didn't want to, and that I don't need therapy. Therapy's for crazy people. And that's the moment I knew, and then I was like, well, if he never calls me again, then that's okay. And I waited, and I waited, and I was like, okay, Dad, well, call me. Okay, I love you, and I hung up, and that was it. He never called me again. He never talked to me again. He never reached out. His kid vanished, and he never even asked if I was alive, if I was okay. He never called my mother. He never called anyone. He didn't call my brother. He never asked. He never, ever pursued me. He didn't care. And that's the point that he is at, and there's nothing I can do about that. So, that is the story. That all happened in Holly's era. Holly, Holly's era. So, this is a long trail we're gonna be going down. It's a lot of grief. He's still out there, yeah, like, he could just, like, he could call me tomorrow. But, like, he won't. And it's a really, really sad thing to have to sit there and realize when I'm holding on to this memory of him, where he's so good and he's so great, and I'm like, man, what happened? I mean, you'll watch it happen. We'll all watch it. We'll watch it happen, but it's just still so unbelievable. But yeah, that is the really horrendous, horrific truth of this video of... And a lot of people finally caught on my metaphors. They're like, I don't think this video is about training wheels, is it? And I'm like, no, it's not. It's about your parents being your training wheels. And how they love and protect you, do everything for you, and then they let you go. And it's a really hard thing to grieve. Becoming an adult is so traumatic. And the way that I became an adult was extreme, was just so extreme, and I was so alone. I don't have parents, like, it's very hard. I went to the doctors the other day and they asked me, oh, do you know of any, like, genetic things that we should worry about? And I said, I don't know. I don't have parents. I don't have family. I don't know if I have heart disease in my family. I don't know what runs in my bloodline. Like, and I never will. And that's... I don't understand how people could look at me in my despair, in my worst moment, drawn out for you, voice acted out for you, and say that this isn't loss and that this isn't grief. Because it is. And, like, it's valid, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm standing by it. Like, I am going through tremendous loss. And it doesn't have to mean that people have to be buried for it to matter. It still matters. It's so sad. I'm like, I just want people to understand that this is just, I can't, it's a true story. I'm a queer autistic person, this is my story, and it is very real. It is very real. Like, this is it. I can't, this is the most authentic, like, I've ever been in my life. I'm just like, here it is. I'm, like, shaking as I'm talking right now. Like, it's such a release. It's very cathartic. Like, I'm very glad I'm posting this stuff and I'm healing. I really needed to see myself with my old version of my dad and, like, physically let him go. I have felt a lot better about it. I'm definitely a lot more at peace. Like, while you see me laying on the floor in despair, it's like, that moment has passed. He's gone. But it's not all bad. I have his memory, and I have his spirit, and he was the reason why Wild Child made it, so hey, I'm grateful. So hopefully that explains a little bit more. I had to get my piece out, really did, because I was just pretty upset about that, but I've moved past the upset. I am now fine. I am, like, cool. I got the episode out. People understand that he is gone. It doesn't matter how, he just is. It doesn't take away from the fact that it hurts. And thank you guys for being so understanding of this. The chat has been extremely supportive, and I cannot thank you enough for that. Like, the support I'm getting, I just really want you guys to understand that the support is so, so helpful. Because I get notifications all day long of people being like, hey, I went through XYZ and I get to read your story too. And it makes me feel so much less alone. Because for a while I was very alienated and isolated, and a lot of my family members called me crazy and just wrote me off as insane because I had emotions. So it's nice to know that other people are like, oh my god, this video made me cry. I'm like, I'm sorry I made you cry, but I'm glad that we can cry together and that we're both feeling together and that feeling is okay. So it's wonderful, and I really appreciate you guys. And it's just so cool I get to do this as my job now. Like, everything is falling into place so beautifully, and it's just a really beautiful chapter. Robin's era is so amazing so far. I just can't believe we're here. And so with that, I will open up our silly little bloopers and we'll look at them and we'll say hee hee and we'll end it on a positive note because that's where we're at. Like, the worst of it is over now. We have gone through a lot. All of me and my eras. I feel bad for you guys because you guys are just getting started. This is just Wild Child. But I'm just happy we'll all be here together. So thank you guys. Oh, man. So yeah, the bloopers were really silly. I go like full silly mode when I'm recording, and like the problem with like my bloopers is that people were like so upset that Wild Child cursed in this. And I was like, guys, I stay in character. That's the problem. I try to stay in character, and then when I can't, I just come through, and you can tell the moment that I come through. Cause like, there's like this stupid freaking blooper of me being like, hey, we be fighting. It's just, and then I'm immediately noticing what I'm saying and going, no, no, no. It's just so silly. Oh, you guys are so sweet. But yeah, like, it's just like it was also cute to draw Wild Child with a little freaking cowboy hat. I have so much fun with this project. Like, yes, I go through a lot of pain, don't get me wrong. There are recordings of me just bawling. But, you know, I should try to have my fun with it too. Like, it's just, I love to be silly, and I love to relive the good things. Like, that's kind of how life is. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, like, life is a freaking mess. Like, and I love it. And I'm glad I get to share it, like, so authentically. And I think the world really needs that, because there's so much ingenuine things out there. There's just so many people who are just malicious in their intent when it comes to sharing. But I just truly want to be able to heal, and I want to help people too. Like, because goddamn do I have some wisdom, and goddamn have I lived through some shit. And like, it would just be a shame to not help people while I'm here. You know? It's like, why go through all that if I'm not gonna tell the story? That's the whole point of telling stories. I'm a storyteller. Those, you know, you don't, like, 12 in Origins, like, May didn't go through all of this stuff and, like, possess all these vessels and overcome and triumph and change as a person. May didn't go through everything just so she wouldn't tell that story to her children. Like, I don't know, like, I love storytelling. It's the heart and soul of everything. It's the most wonderful thing to me. So, for me to be able to tell my story, and for so many people to just be like, wow, we are the same person, or wow, we have the same life, or wow, I relate, or wow, I've never had that experience, thank you for sharing, it opens my eyes. Like, no matter what, it's bringing so much good into the world, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm so proud of Wild Child that I get to stand there with her and hold her little froggy hand and go, look at what we're doing. Aren't we so cool? Like, yeah, we had a rough time, but like, look at where we're at now. Oh yeah, the bloopers are my favorite. It's like my favorite part of making the compilations. Cause like, to me, as a content creator, like, when I make a compilation video, it feels like a cheap video, right? It feels like oh, I already posted all these videos as shorts, why would I post it on YouTube too? Like, it's just a grab for more monetization or whatever. But like, no, I feel like there's a purpose. Like, if I put bloopers at the end, and I make it look really nice, like I add nice animations, I put like more work into the compilation, and it's like, no, it's its own video and it has more of a purpose. So there's actually a purpose to watch my compilations. It's not just like a, oh, we're gonna get more views, hee hee hee, like, because I know people will be doing that. Like, there are YouTubers who will just make compilations for the sake of, like, it's an easy video to make and easy money to make or something, and it's like, first of all, I'm not doing this to make money. It just happens to be a byproduct of what I'm doing, which now allows me to do it as my job, which is fantastic, but like, I'm not like desperate. Like, I've never been that way with my art. I do art because I love it, and same thing with my compilations. I'm like, dude, I want to animate these bloopers because they're silly and funny, and I love it. It's just like, I didn't do it on the first compilation because I just genuinely, I didn't have any bloopers. It was too serious. I was like crying while recording those and stuff, so it was just, that one was rough, but I knew that I was gonna have goofier moments when I have silly episodes, and I was gonna goof off, so yes, I hope that I am doing justice and being genuine and being, like, you know, a different creator. I want to be a real creator. I don't want to focus so primarily on like and subscribe and follow me and blah, 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 buy this and buy that and merch, and like I'm just like, okay. The only reason why I have considered making merch is because you guys like really like it, and like I've gotten multiple people being like, I would love this, and I'm like, you know what? If it makes people happy, I want to make people happy. Sure, I'll make that. So I started working on some merch for Persona Project, and all of the funds will be going to me, which are going to Wild Child in the end, so it's just like, I don't know, it seems like a good benefit. I'm not trying to be malicious about it, like, that's the problem. Like, with me being OCD, I tend to get a lot of imposter syndrome of feeling like I'm lying or being ingenuine, or that, like, I'm evil secretly and I just don't know. And, like, I'm not. I'm literally not. But it's just, like, my brain is hardwired to make me question my every move. So, just so you know, my intentions are pure, and I really do appreciate all the support. Super genuinely. It's super awesome that I could do this as my job now, and I can post episodes all the time now, and I could live stream more, and I could just, this will be my life, and my life will be reliving my life the right way. And I can't even tell you what that means to me. To be able to live my life again, but through the lens that I see it as now, and draw it, and voice act it, and put all those silly cartoon sound effects. Listen, I love Mario Kart. I made this playlist. I love this stuff. God, you guys, listen. It's so beautiful. It's like my whole childhood. But yes, that has been my extremely long-winded ramble about this year of Persona, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it, like, genuinely. It was kind of a big year for Wild Child, because it was like, Rocky was born, and then she was so unmasked, and was just so authentic, and I'm so happy to be able to share it, because she was so embarrassed about it for so long. Water check. Water check. But yeah, I guess for the latter half of this, for the next couple of minutes or so, I'll do some Q&A, because I did dump a lot on you guys. So yeah, let's do some Q&A, why don't we? Oh, you know what? Here, I will pull up. I have a little... I tried to post it on YouTube, and it totally did not want to load for some people, and I was like, dang, well, that's sad. I made this cute little gif of Wild Child waving. So while I do the Q&A, we'll just have Wild Child, like, kind of, like, wave at us and say hi. How about that? How cute will that be? So I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. While yawning, because it is late. Not that late, it's just dark and it seems late. Do you have any tips or advice for efficient animation progress? Rocky Stone asked. Perfect your art style. Really get a feel for your art style. The more consistent your art style is, the faster you can animate. In the beginning, it might be helpful for you to reuse assets, reuse poses, use references, real-life references. I use a lot of my own references. I'll stand in front of my camera, and I'll take pictures of myself and poses, so that way I can get an idea of how I want to do stuff. Also, animate on different frames, like frames per second. When you first start, I highly suggest doing like 7 frames per second, 9 frames per second. Because 12 frames per second is like half the industry standard, and then 24 frames per second is like professional. The animation you're looking at right now is 24 frames per second. I've only gotten to that point because of how much practice. You just gotta practice a lot. If you reuse assets, you're not gonna practice as much, but it might be helpful in the beginning to help you get a better understanding of your art style. Let's see. Yes, the Bramble, you've noticed that the logo used to say personal project. Because it was just, I deemed this project as my personal project. I was working on it for like many years. And I was like, yeah, it's my personal project. Like, it's kind of like a silly little, like, because I have my art projects, like Origins, and I have Brightside, which is my editing project, but then I have my personal project, which is my life story. But then I just found out the word persona was already in personal, and I was like, well, this is a project about my personas, so what if I call it Persona Project? But in the logo, I'll still have that hint that it's my personal project. You know? I just thought it was kind of fun and quirky. What year are all the eras introduced? I don't know yet. I could pull it up actually. Hold on, I have a document about this actually. I think I tried to figure it out, and it kind of broke my brain a little bit, but let's see here. I'll pull up that answer for you. I know I'm debating right now about year 9. We might get an extra year out of Wild Child. I might have Wild Child go all the way. She was originally just gonna go all the way to year 8. But honestly, I don't know why year 9 is also giving Wild Child energy, and I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, it might be, we'll see. Blackbird is gonna be from supposedly year 9 all the way to year 13. She's gonna go all the way from 4th grade to 8th grade. And then Parker is gonna start year 14 to 17. So all the way through high school. Parker is just all my high school. Holly is gonna be from year 18 to 21. And then Hailey is gonna be from year 22 to 25. And Robin is year 26. So about 4 years for each era. Blackbird, or Wild Child gets double the amount because childhood can just kind of be bunched together. Your first 8 years of your life is when you're developing your identity, so that's why I made her have 8 years. Plus we love her and we can't get enough of her, so we're gonna have double the amount of seasons for her. The next character is gonna be introduced in year 9, I'm assuming. Maybe year 10, it depends on what I'm writing right now. Rules for the stream. I haven't set those up yet, I apologize. It should be very, you know, self-explanatory, like, obviously, don't spam, don't do anything inappropriate, don't be annoying, don't be mean, like, come on, it's like basic etiquette here. How do you feel about Wisconsin winters? I love them so far! I love them! I'm so excited for winter. It's a freeze warning tonight. I actually had to go pot up all my garden, all my little herbs. I brought all my herbs inside, all my plants. They're all toasty inside now. It's getting so cozy. I love winter. I also have seasonal depression, and my seasonal depression is actually reversed. I don't get seasonal depression during the winter, I get it during summer. So my depression is lifting, and the fog is lifting, and I'm feeling great. What's my brother's real name? It's Evan. I said it earlier. Evan is my brother's name. He's the only one I'll ever say the real name of because he's okay with it, and he's all over my channel, and I never shut up about my brother Evan. What do you think is the best way to make personas? It took me a long time to make them. I basically, like, was just thinking about, like, if Wild Child were to, like, draw herself, what would she do? And I'm like, honestly, she would be, like, probably a cat or something. And then I was like, well, she's not very cat-like. she's more bouncy and energetic, and she swims like she's probably an aquatic animal. And I was like, well, frog, like what about a frog? And I'm like, oh yeah, she's super a frog, 100%, because frogs also make a lot of noises, which I use for her stimming. And then I don't know, it just all ended up working out really well. So it just really depends on, like, think about it from your perspective of the era, because I looked at like Parker. Everybody makes fun of Parker, and they'll look at him and they'll be like, he's just some random guy. Like, you have like a frog and birds and a cat and a dinosaur, and then you just have this random white boy. And I'm like, you're so right, but that's just how he sees himself. You're right, it's funny, but that's just how he sees himself. And so like, I can't explain why the eras are the way they are. That's just what felt right. I just had to practice it a lot. And they went through a lot of changes. Actually, fun fact, Wild Child originally, she used to be a little witch. She used to be this little goblin in a witch cloak and a witch hat. She used to be like, I used to think of her as a little magician, like a little magic user, or a little creature. So, like, I don't know, like, there's no wrong way to do it, I feel. Oh my god, Uni, you are a shaman! That would be so cute! Holy crap, that's so adorable. That would be so cute, especially because if your hair, it could be like, oh, it could be like have the flowers in it, like shaman. Oh my god, you're gonna be so hyped about this. But yeah, just take your time with it. There's no wrong way to do it. I started out by drawing myself as I am, like realistically, like what I looked like as a kid. And then I was like, what if I made them into a different animal for some reason? I don't know. What is the order of the personas? It's gonna be Wild Child, Blackbird, Parker, Holly, Hailey, and then Robin. We need that concept art. I don't even know if I have it anymore, unfortunately. I could maybe. Oh, there are some in the Discord, yeah. I put a couple of those concepts in the Discord, but I don't have the magic girl for freaking Wild Child one. I'll have to go and search for it. It's somewhere. I have a lot of different hard drives. Blackbird is gonna be like 12, 13. She's like a preteen. She goes through a lot. You could draw Wild Child as a witch? Absolutely, Shy Artist, that'd be so cute! Can you make personas like how they see themselves? How they see themselves. You gotta do a lot of soul searching. You gotta ask yourself, what did I like in that era? Like, what were my favorite things? Cause like, I made documents. Where are they? Where is my... I have a document that I made about the eras. I think it'd be really fun to read them to you guys. It kind of explains their likes. I went through and I found their likes, their dislikes, their favorites, and then their traits. I wonder if there's a way I could stream this. Hold on. We're going on a mini tangent here. Can I do that? Will that let me? No, that's Clip Studio. That's a black screen. Hold on, we're cooking. I'm gonna try and show you guys this document because it's really freaking awesome, and I think it would help you guys a lot when it comes to creating your own personas. Let's do that. This. Yes. I am very good at doing the thing. Haha, done. Okay, well, that is not where I want that. Hold up. Let's scoot you down further. Whoop. Don't you just love live streams? Don't you just love live streams? Hey, why aren't you, like, going under the thing? What's wrong with you? There you go. There we go. Alright. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, now I should probably zoom in for you guys. Let's do that. How does that look? It might not be legible, but at least you'll get the idea. No, I'll try to make it legible. Hold on. Please hold. Your error is very important to us. There we go. Okay, cool. So here's the behind the scenes work of how I do this. How I conjure this up with my big brain. I'm gonna grab a gummy worm. I need moral gummy worm support here. Okay. So, I drew the concept art. And here we have, I made a playbook as if this was like an RPG, because one of my special interests is RPGs, tabletop games, roleplay games. So I was like, if I was playing an RPG and I had to pick like a character type, what type of character would this be? And I was like, Wild Child is the adventurer. So I was like, cool. So we have Wild Child, the adventurer. How old they are, their birthday. Well, all the same birthday, we're all the same person, but their gender and their traits. So for Wild Child, I was like, as a kid, I was energetic, I was curious, I was loud, I was playful, I was happy, I was adventurous. And then I made a chart of likes, dislikes, and favorites. So, Wild Child likes catching bugs, rainy days, park visits, cats, and learning. Wild Child does not like time out, being hungry, fireworks, being left out, and cameras. And her favorite things are, oh...
Can't wait for the rest of the years. Love Dub C though.
Aww, Simon! The camera guy! Simon, the camera guy's back! Oh my god! It's so good to see you, I hope you're doing well! I can't wait for the rest of the eras too. Thank you so much! So, Wild Child's favorite things are stuffed animals, bonfires, mud, swimming, and beaches. I have some notes about her. Like hypersensitive hearing. Complains there's people stopping in her head. Sees and feels the world extremely vividly. Because yes, I felt things so vividly. Hates being inside, practically lives outdoors, always barefoot, never wears socks or shoes. Genuinely thinks she's a cat. She's a frog. And then I just brainstormed a lot of ideas. Like a million ideas that I had. That I won't be going into specifics because some of them are triggering. But I just brainstormed like every freaking memory I could possibly remember and just put them there. Not even in an order. Just all the memories I could possibly conjure into one spot. So, okay, I'll give you guys a little bit more information about the other eras too, just because we're already here. Might as well. Here's Blackbird's little info. Her playbook is the hero. She's the hero. She's a mockingbird, and she is ambitious, egotistical, naive, rash, and strong-willed. She likes sculpting, glow sticks, photography, superheroes, and old clothes. Does not like eating disorder that she has. Decision-making, growing up, adults, and not fitting in. Very rebellious. She loves being alone, anime, role-playing, trampolines, and the night sky. She's the main character, but also don't look at her. Struggles with bulimia, has severe food allergies. Writes fanfictions better than the source material. Can't fly yet, frustrated by stunted wings. Jack of all trades, tries and masters any and all activities. Yes, I know, that's why I made her a mockingbird. Also, mockingbird is the state bird of Florida, which was my place I was raised. Let's see, the next era. We're gonna skip through all the memories, because that's the spoilers. Technically Parker has a last name, by the way. It's so random, but Parker's like a normal person, so it's like, Parker Reinhardt. Or Reinhardt, however you want to pronounce it. Reinhardt, whatever. Tomato, tomato. What's bulimia? It's an eating disorder. It's a not good thing. It's a sad thing. We'll get into it. Just be careful if you look it up. It's a little triggering to some people. It involves, vomiting So be careful if you look up that information. Parker is the poet. Parker is the poet, and they are an elemental mage. They can control fire. Parker is depressed, emotional, lonesome, quiet, and creative. So, like, very, very stark difference between my eras. Parker likes keys, origami, swim trunks, video games, Japan, and Britain. Does not like death, being a burden, school, stomach aches, and himself. A lot of, obviously, issues there. But loves writing, playing the piano, incense, tire swings, puns. You can see where we're going with this. You can see where Imp came from a little bit. Has mastered the element of fire, can generate and manipulate it. Does not trust medicine. Yeah, don't know what was up with that. Loves his brother more than anything else on this planet. Wants to travel the world but knows he'll never afford it.
Smile.
Smile? Oh. Smile. As in cameraman. Smile. Thank you, cameraman. Oh my god, that's so sweet of you. Even though you're creepily watching us. At all times, always. Love that for you. Love that for you. Heart emoji. Oh goodness. But, oh, where was I? Oh yeah, he doesn't practice self-care or personal hygiene. Good job, Parker. Very cool, very awesome. Poor guy. But if we go down here, we got Holly! Holly's the fighter. She's a cat, and she's sweet, passionate, joyful, social, and peppy. She's very different. Where did I get the element idea from? It was actually, like, it's a whole story within itself for Parker. Parker was writing a book, and the book was called The Rebels. And the main character's name was Parker. That's where I named the era Parker. And the main character could control fire, so that's where I got it from. I think it was a little bit of inspiration from Avatar: Last Airbender. But, Holly likes scrapbooking, ukulele, walks, lights, and social media. She does not like the dark, being the mediator, making mistakes, making messes, and thunderstorms. She loves friends, live streams, music variety, storytelling, and holidays. She has a huge following on social media, loves content creation, has obsessive compulsive disorder, terrified of the unknown, relies on TVs and lights to sleep in the dark, expanding her personality by trying new things, like music genres, believes she is invincible and this era will last forever. Haha. Haha. There is certainly nothing bad that could happen about that. And then we have Hailey. Hailey is the mother. She's a dinosaur. She's expressive, peaceful, honest, caring, and nurturing. Very calm era. Hailey likes making soap, sunsets, meetups, lights, and rain boots. Doesn't like meltdowns, crowds, loud noises, sand and dirt, and mornings. Loves dinosaurs, gardening, loft bed, squishmallows, and swinging. We have late autism acceptance, but thriving in newfound freedom and exploration. Because yes, as you can see through Wild Child, I have a lot of trauma around my autism, and I did not really accept it because nobody else accepted it. So I have, at this point, by Hailey's era, there's like a huge acceptance arc of like really embracing it and being able to stim and not be embarrassed and being able to like be more open about my autism, because I used to obviously hide it because my parents told me to. So Hailey's when it really starts to come out a little bit more, and it's just a lot more safe. Also, if you hear my cat, he is extremely happy. He's sitting here with me. Whenever I get really upset, my cat's my therapy cat. He's my emotional support animal, and he tends to know when I'm really upset. And I was crying, and he kind of burst in here. So if you hear him purring or moving around trying to climb all over everything, that's what he's concerned about me. She doesn't like dirt. Yes, exactly! No, it's the pain, the struggle. Like, I hate the feeling of dirt, but I love gardening. Yeah, you can see where some patterns kind of die. It's interesting. She's kind of learning to not be traumatized and to, like, physically... I didn't know this was a thing. I walked differently. Well, obviously, because I have autism, I walk on my tiptoes a lot, especially when I'm barefoot, because I don't want it to touch the floor. But I also walk on my tiptoes and make myself lighter because I don't want to be heard. Like, I'm scared of being heard. So, like, Hailey's era is when I stopped doing that and I actually put weight in my step. And then I went through empty nest syndrome when my brother moved out. Oh god, that is not fun. You guys are gonna be heartbroken as hell, as I am, god. Acquiring many new but old skills like soap making and bread baking. And she has complex post-traumatic stress disorder and is healing her inner child. So this is when the inner child work started, was with Hailey, and then we got Robin. Robin's last name's Scott. Robin also has a last name. Some of them just have last names, I don't know. It just felt right. Robin's the survivor, and that's where we're at right now. Moody, blunt, tough-skinned, isolated, and perfectionist. Like, oh yeah, we are in that era deeply. So this is kind of my current self. This is what I like. I like cooking, sweaters, my sketchbook, music playlists, and slime. Does not like socializing. Rude neighbors, society, family, making plans. Love old games. I just got my Game Boy working again. I'm so excited. TTRPGs, video editing, online friends, and bread making. Sleeps 15 hours a day, still tired. Working on developing a new art style. It's been 12 years since I worked on my art style. As you can tell, it's really coming into a different era my art is, because I am working on it. Hasn't had new hyperfixation in 4 years. Yikes. Yikes. That's the thing about me. I don't have fast and quick fixations. My fixations last for several years. My longest fixation was Naruto Shippuden, and it lasted 7 freaking years. Oh my god. Yeah, my fixations last a very, very, very long time. Yeah, my dislikes are different variations of people. I have a personality disorder. I have a personality disorder. I'm avoidant. I have avoidant personality disorder, and I have a lot of issues socially from being autistic as well. But my upbringing also led me to have even more severe issues. So yes, I do have people problems. I know this. I'm very self-aware. I try to work on it. Deep fear of being humiliated to chronically paranoid of people. Yep, exactly. And I suffer from heavy dissociation. That's kind of my current issues. So yeah, this is kind of the format that I use to make my eras. We have, like, the basic information, name, a playbook, age, birthday, species, gender, traits. And then I filled out their likes, dislikes, favorites, added some little fun facts, and then I went through and jotted down all the memories I could possibly think of. And that is basically, basically how I made the eras and how I broke them all down. Now, I worked on this over the course of, like, a long time. But that is just kind of my format that I used to kind of create the characters. And it was kind of easy once you broke it down, because it's like, what did I like when I was 16? It's like, obviously not the same things I like now. Like, I don't even like incense anymore, but that's like Parker's favorite thing ever. So, what is a gender sign? Non-binary. That was like it's like a non-gender, non-gender sign. That's what that meant. It's a non-binary sign. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, I know, Tyler. You have some awesome fixations. Oh, Bluey seems to be such a great, like, healing tool for a lot of people. I can't I cry when I watch it. I'm hoping that when I heal from all of this, I can watch Bluey. I feel like I'll be the biggest fan ever. Oh, Kiro, you're not the only one who thought that you thought it was just a story, and they were just like, oh, teehee, this is just love this frog child, and I'm like, this is my real life, unfortunately, and then people are like, oh. What's my cat's name? My cat's name's Indiana Jones. His name is Bibby. I call him Bibby. But he's my little baby. He's orange. He's insane. Does it hurt to do Wild Child's voice? No, it doesn't hurt to do it. It's like
just a little bit higher than my voice. And I just do a little bit of a,
I don't even know what that's called.
like a nasally thing? I don't know.
But I don't want to do it because the problem is, a lot of things that happened in year 5 were like really fun and crazy and involved Wild Child screaming a lot. Not like in agony screaming, but like running around being a silly child screaming, being like crazy. So I was like screaming a lot, so my voice is like gone. I'm surprised I made it this long, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Have you ever traveled? Oh, I traveled so much. I've seen a lot. I've been to a lot of places. Out of the country, I've been to Belize. I've been to Mexico. And I've been to the Bahamas. And then in the States, I've been to, oh god, here we go. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, New York, Rhode Island. Where else did I go through? Pretty sure I went through West Virginia at one point. I've been to Ohio many times. I've been to Ohio. Now I've been to Wisconsin. I've been to Montana. I've been to California. I've been like, I haven't gone to like the interstates really. I've been like kind of like on the outskirts of America all the way around pretty much. But yeah, I live in Wisconsin currently and I really love it. And its seasons are changing now and the trees are changing and they're so gorgeous. I've never seen anything like it my whole life. It just feels like I'm on another planet. Like, when you get raised in a swamp, man, you really appreciate seeing something other than green. I love the green, but like, man, it's so nice to know that like a year is coming to a close and you can physically see it and like everything dies and comes back and it's just, there's so much beauty to it. I really love the seasons. Florida really robbed me of that. Okay, a couple more questions that I gotta give my voice a good rest. And my body, because I went and cried a lot and now I'm feeling stiff. Gotta relax a little bit. What does the rest of the cast sound like? I don't have that set in stone yet. I'm practicing my voices for them. For the other eras. I have not really done any solid ones yet where I'm like, oh yeah, I found it, I got it. Like, I know Wild Child's 100%. Like, I always knew, I was like, I know how I'm gonna do her, but I have some decisions to make about how I want to voice Blackbird. No, you guys animate your own childhood. I didn't start the idea of doing animated story times about your life. The thing that I was upset about with the plagiarism is just straight up taking the name Persona Project and then making a frog character and being like, this is me. That's like straight up stealing. If you're like, hey, I want to use the name Persona Project, like, but this is my Persona Project, then like, sure, just be sure to be like, hey, the first technical Persona Project, like, in this exact wording was mine. But if you want to call it something else and do your own thing, like, please, it's very healing, and it's just, you gotta be ready for it, though. It's gonna bring up a lot, like, of feelings. You gotta be ready to deal with them. Aww! The House of Sin system. Oh my god, that's so awesome. I'm so glad you helped a whole system. That's so cool. That's awesome. I'm happy you're able to reflect, all of you. Aw, I'm really glad that I helped you out, Sam. Sam the Snake. Cute username, too. My favorite season is fall. It is right now. It is gorgeous. I love it. I'm so happy. Wild Child is Wild Child is going to be 8 years. We're gonna go through 8 seasons. We're halfway through it. We're halfway done with Wild Child. Do you know how to come back to reality when you think about something really deep and existential? My tactic for dealing with dissociation is doing something physical. I have sour candies on my desk. Like, I literally had a sour gummy worm just a couple minutes ago because I was like, oh, I'm fading away. I keep sour candies on me, and I use them to kind of be like, oh, a little treat to, like, bring me back to reality. It's like, taste is a really strong thing for me. But you could do other things. Like, you could run your hands under cold water, or, like, hold an ice cube, or put an ice cube in your mouth, and be like, ah! And then, like, it'll bring you back. That's kind of what I do. Or I go and, like, change my setting. Like, I'll just get up and go to a different room and look at everything in the room and be like, what do I see? What do I hear? What do I smell? What do I touch? And, like, get all your senses. Plans for spooky month. I don't know yet. I've actually realized Robin... We're having a bit of trouble with Robin. That era is having some struggles, to say the least, when it comes to seasons right now. We're really struggling when it comes to, like, celebrating holidays. Where did the music just died? There we go. It's back. It's back, and the cat is here. Hello, Bibby. Don't press anything. Thank you. Thank you. He is literally standing on the microphone. Please stop. Any tips on how to start a YouTube channel? I don't even know, man. I started mine almost a decade ago. Just start. Just start. The hardest part is starting. Once you get it started, it's over. You can just post forever, whenever you want. Like, just start. I guess that's my best advice. Aww. Hugging your stuffed animals, let's go. Yeah, that's a good one. My favorite aesthetics? Ooh, bliss, that's a good question. Right now, my room is bohemian themed. Like, I have a boho room, and I love it, and it's like all these plants and like natural things in my room. I have a sun catcher that cascades rainbows into my room. It's beautiful. I'm very much, my aesthetic right now is lights and light colors and openness. Minimalism right now is kind of my aesthetic. Aw, I'm sorry you had a bad day, Emerson. I hope it gets better. I'm happy that we were able to help you. Aw. My channel's a hidden gem. Let's go! Yeah! I thought I was gonna keep it that way too forever. I was at 50k, like, oh, just under 50k for so long, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm one of those YouTubers, I'm one of those niche YouTubers, this is awesome, and then it, like, blew up, and I was like, oh no! It happened! Now everyone's here, which is great, I'd love to have you all here, but I'm like, dang it, now I'm no longer niche. I mean, I'm still a little niche, I guess, but when you have, like, millions of views on a daily basis, it's like, well, shoot, darn, well. I'm still a hidden gem. For those of you who attend live streams, and for those of you who join PetPyves Premium and are, like, a huge part of the community, like, you get to know a little bit more about the niche, I guess. I have not heard of Welcome Home, Phoenix Flame. I feel like it would make me cry, but it sounds like a wonderful special interest. Any tips for helping strict parents understand autism? It's not really your job to tell them how to understand autism. They should be trying to do that, that's their job. But I guess making it apparent that that's their job, I don't know if that's necessarily a good or safe idea. That's a tough question. I guess my best advice is understand yourself. I wouldn't be so reliant on parents. I wouldn't be seeking that in your parents, especially if they're not delivering it to you, if they're not able to understand you. Maybe stop trying to make them understand you. Instead, just understand yourself. You know? Because I did that a lot with my parents. I would seek things from them that I knew they could never give me. And then I just kind of realized one day, wait, I'm asking the wrong person for the wrong thing. Like, I should just give this to myself. Like, as long as I understand myself, I'm okay. Ooh, you do puzzles, Unseen Hunters? Oh, that's so fun! I love puzzles. I play puzzles games every night before I go to sleep. I play this Tetris block game. I have an app. My high score is ridiculous. I'll be up for hours playing that block game. I love puzzles. That's so true, Bliss. You and Gooseworks. Oh, you can't put me up there with Gooseworks. Oh, I'm blushing. But yeah, no, I would love to continue to do this full time. Like, yeah, this is super fucking awesome. I have my play button sitting there. I'm recording a video. I'm doing a video on it. I think you guys are gonna freaking love it. I'm sorry it's taking so long, but like, you'll see. It's really freaking cool. I'm really excited about it. It's just the first of many big milestones. What's the app called? Okay, this is where it's gonna get niche. I played this game. It's called Cat Game. It's this cat collecting game. And inside of the game there's mini games, and I only play the app for the mini games. I barely collect the cats. I just want to play the mini games. So I just play the stupid puzzle games on the inside of the app. Instead of just getting a puzzle app, I have an app that's like cat adjacent. I'm like, yes, I love cats. And then I'm like, ah yes, the puzzle game inside the cat game. Yes, my beloved. Memory issues for the arts wizard. My brother also has trauma blocked a lot of his memories. If you want to do a persona project but have memory issues, just own up to that. Just be like, have them be like, I don't remember much about this, but here's what I think happened. Like, you can always try to infer what happened. You can be like, I think somebody might have pushed me on a playground. But you can be honest, and you can say, I don't remember. Because, like, it's important that you acknowledge that you don't remember, and that it's okay. Like, it's totally okay, and that it's not like you're missing something. Like, you're forgetting something probably to protect your own self, and you have to be okay with that and sit with that and hug yourself and be like, thank you for protecting me. Like, sit with your error and be like, I know you don't remember when this bad thing happened. We know that something bad happened, but we don't have any memory of it, and I understand you were protecting me. And, like, give them a hug, you know? You can do it like that. I would just be as honest as possible. Kleptocats is such a good- I've already beat Kleptocats. I beat Nekomatsume and Kleptocats. So Cat Game is my new one right now. I also played a lot of Dragon Ball. I collect a lot of dragons in that game. I love those stupid, like, dumb phone games where you collect stuff and it, like, takes, like, 40 hours to, like, get one egg or something. I'm so... Guilty pleasure! It's my guilty pleasure. Tips for new artists? It's okay to trace. Just don't post it. Okay? Trace stuff. Trace your favorite creators. See how they do it. Really understand their style and be like, wow, what do I want to draw? How do I want to draw? And, like, trace over people's work. As long as it's for your, you know, educational purpose, and you're not gonna, like, steal their entire art style, or, like, sell their art, or post their art and claim it as your own, you know. Draw inspiration from it. At least get an idea of how your favorite people do things. I used to put pieces of paper up to the TV and trace over SpongeBob, okay? Like, I trace over my favorite media. Like, I traced over Neopets and Pokemon and SpongeBob. And, like, it's like, that's how I learned. And, like, other artists online, I'd be like, oh, I love how they draw this part. I want to draw my eyes like that too. And, like, I wasn't stealing from them. I wasn't like grabbing their whole art style and being like, this is mine now. But I did take aspects of things that I loved and put it into my art style. Like, dude, I can draw you. If I drew a Neopet, you'd be like, damn, that's 100% Neopets. Like, my art style is very much inspired by like my childhood media. So I suggest pulling from your childhood media or things that you're interested in now. And if you are worried that you're gonna get in trouble or that it's not okay, you can even ask the creator, like, is it okay if I trace your stuff to learn? Like, I'll give you guys permission. If you want to trace my stuff to learn, go for it. Just don't claim it as your own, and don't post it online, and don't steal. That's stealing. However, if you want to trace over my art to learn, hey, how do you draw a hand? I like how PetPyves draws hands. I'm gonna trace over PetPyves and learn. So, like, tracing is, like, important to learn the fundamentals. However, you can't just use it forever and steal, okay? I don't want you to commit plagiarism. I want you to use it as a learning skill. I don't want you to... Because if you just trace forever, first of all, you're only limited to what you can find to trace, and second of all, you don't learn a real skill. But by tracing... Trace something, and then try to redraw what you just traced right next to it. And try to train your brain to kind of, you know, create its own images. But you have to have a point of reference. Everything comes from something. Your PG looks like SpongeBob. Yeah, literally! Literally, guys, literally. That's what I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Oh, goodness. But yes, I'll probably end up wrapping this up here, because, oh boy, I've had an emotional time, and I'm tired. But I appreciate you guys. Oh, thank you guys so much for everything today. It's been so awesome being able to hang out with you guys. I love doing this, and we're gonna be able to do this weekly now. I'm gonna try and set up a good stream schedule. I'm gonna make a poll on my community and find out what's the best time in day for the most amount of people to catch it. I tried doing this one on a random day and kind of like in the evening to see who I could catch and see if it was any better for you guys. But yeah, like, we're gonna do this a lot more often. I'm definitely at least gonna do like my, you know, every year we're gonna like go through and do a deep analysis, but I'd like to do them like and just show you guys more of the process. I want to show you guys what it's like to animate these episodes. I'd love to show you guys like so much more of like the behind the scenes work, so I'll start streaming that. Maybe we'll play some video games. We'll have fun. The Discord is an exclusive thing. If you want to join it, you have to join it through PetPyves Premium, which is kind of like my Patreon. It's private because it's I wouldn't be able to manage it otherwise. Oh, but yes, it was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'm gonna deliver all these funds to Evan immediately. So all of the super chats, I'm gonna tally them up. All of the donations, everything will be going straight to my brother to help him with the hurricane relief, and oh god, I can't tell you how much we need it and how much we appreciate it. It's very helpful that we can all kind of come together and support each other when we need it most, so. Oh yes, year 5 will be starting up very soon. I'm gonna start posting it. I'm gonna give another day for myself to create a couple more episodes and get ahead. So, what day is it today? You guys will be getting it on Thursday. We'll start up year 5 on Thursday, and then on Wednesday, my PetPyves Premium members will be able to have the episode early. They get 24-hour early access, so... Tomorrow, the Peevlets will be getting the episodes, but you guys will start to get year 5 on Thursday, so... Hopefully we're all excited for that. It's not as scary as you guys think, I promise. And I will make sure Evan is doing good. And thank you guys so much again for the support. Have a good night, everybody. I will see you all very soon in the next stream. In the next beautiful, wonderful stream. Thank you guys so much. I can't thank you enough. You guys are so great. I'm giving you a big ol' internet hug. Bye. my awkward, horrible, stiff hugs because I'm a bad hugger. You can just imagine how bad this hug is. Okay, thank you.